How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. Isn't it frustrating how the men you date only seem to be interested in giving you the absolute bare minimum? Don't you feel helpless when the guy you actually like only seems to be interested in doing absolutely nothing for you? Let's stop that from happening. We're going to do that by discussing today's show, which will be how to get a man to do more for you instead of chasing him. This will be a step-by-step strategy to get you the man you actually deserve and the treatment you've always wished for. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. How are all you beautiful souls doing today? I love to see you, love to spend time with you, and I want to know if you're doing well. You doing okay? You doing good? Who we got here? We got Kayla T up in the TikTok chat. I see we got Armani, we got SH, we got SH and Sharice here, okay? Sharice says we're not doing a try, I just did it. We got Zyra here, Melina here, we got Scotty here as well. We got Aline, Brianna, Foxy. Nice to see a Drizzle. Welcome back. Nice to see all you beautiful. Oh, and here, I be seeing a lot. Welcome all you beautiful souls. How you guys doing in the TikTok chat? Who we got over in the YouTube chat? I see we got Mary Kim, we got Dolce, we got Base Beauty, we got Irina, we got Melita, we got Tracy Niles, one of our amazing channel members, Angela, one of our amazing channel members, Ivy, one of our amazing channel members, and who else? Let me scroll up to see who was here like right on time. Oh, we got Nicole, one of our amazing channel members. Let me scroll up. We got Attracting Harmony, Olivia, and so much more. And of course, we got Missy America holding down and moderating our YouTube chat. Welcome all you beautiful souls. How are you all doing today? So good to see you. Okay, let's get started today. No technical difficulties, guys. Unfortunately, my pen's still not working, but I'll have to just buy a new pencil, but we don't need it for today. So let's start off with number one. And I want to give you guys a really clear strategy today that you guys can follow along and keep with you. I know some of you might be thinking, well, Tomisin isn't just, the way to do this and get guys to do more, do nothing. No, we're going to go even more into detail than just do nothing, because we're going to do nothing with a taste and a hint of strategy. And it kind of requires actually doing something. Okay. So we can't just leave it up to that. So number one is to set the baseline. Okay. We're starting off hot today. Set the baseline. What you need to do is when you meet a guy from the very beginning, see, this is why, we talk about meeting guys with intention. We also want you dating with intention as well. So from the very first second you meet a man and start talking to a man, I want you to be thinking of, okay, I want to be delivering myself in a particular way because I'm setting myself up for success in the future. In the future, I don't want to have to scream and yell to get things and receive things. In the future, I don't want to have to be desperate, begging, and needy for princess treatment. In the future, I don't want to have to, ask you to be a man in order for you to be a man. I don't want to have to ask you to take me out on dates and be the boyfriend and the girlfriend. So everything you're going to be saying and doing from the very beginning is going to be setting yourself up for the ideal situation where you can be in a relationship, relaxing, chilling, and receiving a whole lot of good, nice, amazing princess treatment. Not yelling, screaming, and running around like a chicken with your head cut off, chasing after a guy to try and like you. Okay, we don't want that. So when I say set the baseline, what I'm specifically referring to is you need to help him understand who you are on a regular, everyday basis. Okay, now this is very important. I don't want you jumping into a relationship with a man and thinking that, oh my God, well, when I listen to or watch my Disney princess movies, or when I listen to my Wattpad stories, because I know some of you guys love your Wattpad. When I listen to my Wattpad stories, everything seems so magical and amazing, and it starts so hot and heavy at the very beginning. So I believe that an amazing relationship for me should resemble that same thing. And so when a guy meets you and he's able to feed you with that delusion, you want to buy into it, and then you start making a lot of mistakes. So when I'm talking about setting the baseline, here's the thing. You're not going to be complimenting men from the very beginning. You're not going to be giving them anything. You're not going to be doing anything for them. This is kind of part of the doing nothing. You're setting the baseline to help them understand where you're going to start is you're going to start from level 0. Okay? It's level 0. You're not going to be anywhere. You're not going to be anyone to me, and I'm not going to be doing anything for you. You approached me because you want to get to know me. That's fine. I think you're interesting. I want to see what you have to offer. I want to see what you're about. I want to get to know you more as well. But in the process of you doing that, that doesn't mean you get to jump off from level 100 and I'm going to give you boyfriend treatment just because you have a nice, cute face and a nice smile and you're a little bit charismatic. That doesn't mean that you get to start from level 100. You start from level 0. You're assessing and setting the baseline. When you set that baseline, you help men understand if they're here to manipulate you or take advantage of you or get you to spread your legs so they can jackrabbit themselves inside of you for 90 seconds, that's not what you're here for. If they're here to build with you and show you consistency, then you can get on board with that. So you want to be setting that baseline from the very beginning. Ideally, I know it's going to sound weird, but I want to give you foolproof strategy here. Ideally, you want the meanest version of you to be at the very beginning. I'm going to say it again. You want the meanest version of you to come out at the very beginning. And when I say mean, you don't have to be mean as in making fun of him. You don't have to be mean as in putting him down. The mean that I'm referring to is a quiet meanness that, hey, I'm not just going to open myself up to you, open my legs up to you, open my heart and my mind and my spirit up to you. You're a stranger, okay? Stranger danger. I learned that from when I was a very young girl. I don't just open myself up emotionally and physically to strangers. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. That doesn't mean you're a criminal. That doesn't mean you're here for the wrong reasons. All that means is over the course of time, as you show me consistency and as we build our trust in each other, then I will open up to you. You will get to know more about me. We'll have more in-depth discussions. Now, you're obviously not going to say that because then you're going to have the guy putting his walls up. You're going to be getting him to trauma dump and talk all about himself and all that good stuff. He's going to be dumping all of the stuff that he's got on you, except his load, okay? Everything except his physical load, he's going to be dumping on you. And you're going to be taking that because you're getting to know him. But you're going to be very kept and hold your cards close to the chest and not be giving him a lot in return. You want to set the baseline that, hey, I'm a little bit of a quiet meanie, meaning when you come to me, yeah, we can go out on a date, but that doesn't mean I'm going to make you feel like you're the best thing since sliced bread because you take me out on one date. That doesn't mean I'm going to be impressed with you just because you take me to one fancy restaurant one time, right? I need to see consistency because there is a fight to, of the fittest here going on where all the big dogs want to take me out. Yeah, great that you want to take me out on a date. So do all the other big dogs. Great, you got a little bit of money. So do all the other big dogs. Great, you can dress nice and you can talk nice on one date. So can all the other big dogs. Great, you got a Porsche. So do all the other big dogs, okay? And you have to set the baseline that I'm not easily impressed by anything. Not money, not love bombing, not you telling me, not future faking, telling me how all this stuff is going to be amazing in the near future. None of that stuff is going to move me or shake me. It's great that you can say this. It's great that you got money. It's great that everything's going to be so amazing and magical. Let's see how it goes. Okay? Right? It doesn't mean you have to be a pessimist, but I do want you to be willing to observe people when you first meet them and not just take them at their word that, oh my God, everything's going to be exciting and amazing. Because the thing is, people want you to get excited all from the very beginning. That way you can start making mistakes from your excitement. Okay. So you want to set that baseline that, hey, this is who I am. I will allow you to get to know me. However, don't be thinking that I'm like super obsessed or fascinated with you simply because you asked me out on one date. That doesn't make you interesting to me. That doesn't make you the best thing since sliced bread to me. That doesn't make me worship you because you asked me out on one date or show me a little bit of attention. Every guy shows me attention. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I'm stunning. And you really have to approach relationships that way. You start off from level 0. If you don't like that, you can get the F out and go talk to some other girl that'll let you start from level 100 at the very beginning. I'm not that girl. Perfectly fine for me. Lots of other people here to come explore me. Okay, you want to set that baseline from the very beginning. Now, the reason that this is number 1 is because if you do not do a good job of setting the baseline properly, that, hey, I'm a little bit of a quiet meanie. You're going to start from level 0 with me. You're not going to start from the very tippity top. Okay, if you don't set that baseline properly, you're going to throw everything else that you're going to be doing out of whack because the strategy is going to come in not just in doing nothing, but setting that baseline of, the bar is not the bar is low, but you're starting from 0 with me and you're you're going to build your way up. That way you can escalate things properly. And that's where the real strategy is going to come into play, is helping you understand how to escalate things properly over time. Not just how to give a man everything at the very beginning that he doesn't see any appreciation or value in it. And also not how to not give him nothing all the time that he starts to feel frustrated like he's not getting anywhere with you. Okay, there's a balance here that I want to kind of teach you in order to continue receiving more and more from men, and to start training your men from the very beginning on how to give you more and provide you with the absolute most, and put his best foot forward, right? Because once you do a lot of that training and the heavy lifting at the very beginning, then you can start coasting, and you can be in the relationship and already have an established rhythm and dynamic and way of doing things. Okay, once you do a lot of this stuff at the very beginning and you focus on it and you train your dog, okay, I know your man's not a dog, but let's just, you get my point, right? And you train your dog and you give him treats strategically, then you'll be able to coast, because when your dog grows up into an adult, you won't have to worry about him jumping on the couch and rubbing his butt on the rug and stuff like that. Are you following me so far on why that's so important? Sarah says, how do you change an anxious attachment style? Well, we'll get to that in another show, okay? Someone says, can you give them compliments in the beginning? I would advise you not to give compliments in the very beginning. Okay? Don't do that. The reason I say that is because there's no need to. Assuming a guy is approaching you, assuming a guy is approaching you, don't go up to guys. Don't go up to guys. Don't be saying, don't have your girlfriend go up to a guy and say, my friend thinks you're cute, and run away. Okay? Don't approach guys. Don't message them first. Don't do nothing with them first. Let them come to you because they want you and they want to get to know you and they want to pursue you. That's the jumping off point you need, or else you're going to throw a lot of stuff out of whack. Now, I say that to say, when a guy approaches you, no need to compliment him. You accepting his approach and you allowing him to take you out on a date is interest enough, is a compliment enough. Men aren't like, hey, the men that we want you to end up with don't need such crazy validation that anytime you have to tell them, hey, just a reminder, I really like you. Just a reminder, I think your hair's cute. Just a reminder, I think you're nice. Just a reminder, I think we can go continue. Like, you don't need to do that. For the big dogs that we want you with, you don't need to do that. Maybe for the soy boys and the shy boys that can't do nothing, they can't, have the courage to ask you out. Maybe you need to do that for them, but we don't want to attract those men to you. So I say that to say, you don't need to be complimenting men at all, okay? Especially at the very beginning, there's no need to. You compliment them by saying yes to the date. That's how you compliment them. And they understand if she's saying yes to the date, obviously she has a level of interest in me. So you don't need to be going overboard with thinking, oh, I'm going to compliment his shoes and I'm going to compliment his big toe and I'm going to compliment his eyebrow. Like, don't do that, okay? He's a man. He's a regular human being. You're not impressed by him being a regular human being, okay? You're impressed by consistency and consistency in actions and how he'll treat you. That's what you're impressed by, not the way he looks or his t-shirt, all right? So number one is to set the baseline. Number two, you want to have a positive association, okay? Now, I want us to be very clear, right? So I'm going to talk about both sides of the association. First drink of the day, and it's a big one, okay? I go through like a water bottle every show now. So you want to understand, we're going to talk about both sides of association. So we're going to talk about positive and we're going to talk about a negative, okay? Because we've discussed this briefly in other shows, but I want us to have a whole focus on this so that you guys can understand the strategy and why it's so important. First things first is positive association. Now, the reason that positive association is so important is because you want to know, remember, you're training your dog from the very beginning and you're training him in the ways of how to treat you and how to approach you in this relationship. Positive association is so important because you want him to be able to make the connection between what is good behavior and what am I doing when she is showing me affection, right? And good behavior and the affection and love that I get from her, right? So you want there to be the signal of, okay, I do this. She responds to me like that. That response that she gives me makes me feel good internally. Because I want to continue feeling good, I continue doing the behavior. So there's positive reinforcement here. And what you need to understand This is what I didn't talk about in past shows. What you need to understand with positive association is the association cannot be something that you think you're giving him, that you think you're doing just by existing or something like that, right? The positive association needs to be able to connect with him by giving him something. So let me explain in more detail by giving you an example. When I say positive association, for example, if let's say your boyfriend knows that you really need the brand new iPhone, and your screen's cracked, your phone's not working, all your calls are muffed, and everything's kind of going bad, and you guys can barely communicate over the phone because of how bad your phone is. Okay, when I'm talking about positive association, and let's say he comes to you and he's like, "Oh, hey babe, I got you a new iPhone because I just knew that your iPhone was all messed up, and I wanted to make sure that you're all taken care of and you're all good." Positive association is helping him feel that love and affection from you and that appreciation. Oh my God, you got me the new iPhone and you knew how much I wanted the new iPhone and how much I needed it. Thank you so much. I don't even know how I deserved to what I did to this iPhone is so amazing and thank you so much. You don't know how much of a lifesaver this is for me. We can talk on the phone now, and now I can send more messages at work, and oh my God, you're so amazing. Okay. Now I know, remember I said, don't compliment men, but I also want you to be strategic about knowing how to give him something when you receive something. Okay. Why? Because your compliments need to be the most powerful and impactful when it matters. Your words and your affection needs to be the most powerful when it matters. Okay. So I say that to say, the baseline is you're not giving away compliments for free. You're not giving away so much of your love and affection. Oh my God, you're so amazing. Oh my God, you're the best thing since sliced bread. Oh my God, everything. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. You're not giving any of that away for free. Now, when he comes to you and he actually does things for you, right? Whether it be consistency, he gets you a gift, he goes out of his way, okay? So it doesn't always have to be monetary. It can also be just emotionally, where he's thinking of you, trying to solve your problems, trying to do something nice for you. You know when someone in your life is going the extra mile. You know when someone in your life is thinking of you when you're not with them, or thinking about how to solve your problems and actually do something for you. Those are the times where you want to give him some positive association between, oh my gosh, I really appreciate you and I appreciate what you did for me and what you have done for me. The same way, right? The same way you would if something he did really upset you. Okay, because we're going to get to negative association in a little bit. But the same way you're imagining how you would really be expressive and tell him about this and about that upset you, and how he didn't do this and how he didn't do that. And if you were really upset about something, you'd really make sure he knows what you're upset about. That's the same type of approach and seriousness I want you to bring to positive associations. So when he goes out of his way for you, I don't even want it to just be, oh, thank you, I really appreciate this. When you see him really go out of his way for you, or even in ways that were unexpected to you, I want you to take a level of seriousness to appreciating him that makes it feel impactful as well. So I know this is going to sound really overboard, but let me give you an example of real seriousness, right? So an example of showing him real serious appreciation would be if he were to do something for you, like get you that new iPhone, right? You sit him down later that day. I really mean this. You sit him down later that day. You hold him by the hands and you're like, look, we need to talk. He's like, what? I thought everything was good. And you tell him, look, I really, really appreciate you. You're looking him in the eyes. I want to thank you not only for how you look out for me and our relationship, but just the fact that you're always thinking of me and the things that I need. You did not have to get me this iPhone. You really didn't. And you did it anyways, just because you know how much I would appreciate it and how, honestly bad my phone has been. But I want you to understand, aside from just getting me the iPhone, I appreciate you, because that's representative of the person that you are and how you approach our relationship. And I can't show you enough appreciation for the care that you have for me and this relationship. It's second to none, and you do your absolute best, and I see it every day. I know that seemed a little bit extreme, but getting someone an iPhone is extreme. Okay. Now, obviously, not everything he does for you is going to be that extreme. Okay. Like getting you an iPhone. But I just want you to start understanding what positive association, like when you're giving positive association, you want to lay it on thick. And you're probably thinking in your mind, Tomisin, like, I don't really think that's going to impact a man. Who's really going to care about that? See, but that's the mistake that you're making. The only time you give him very focused energy is when you want to sit him down and talk to him about the things that are bothering you. But you don't give him that same focused energy when you start seeing the things that you want to see. But what you don't realize is that when a guy actually likes you and he wants to pursue you and he wants to put his best foot forward, when you can give him that warm and fuzzy feeling inside when he does something for you, that does something for him. Okay? Now, this is where I kind of want to let you in on a little bit of human psychology here. See, we'll say men's psychology. Here's the thing. When someone gives out of the kindness of their heart, of course, we would all love to imagine, we're just such kind people and we're such generous people. That's why we give. The reality of it is, though, when you give to someone, even if it's out of your own generosity, and you give to that person and they recognize you and show you crazy appreciation, right? And they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. And they start crying and they're tearing up and they're going hysterical. You don't understand how what you did is going to change my life. It's going to be so amazing. And thank you so much for, I'm not saying that you have to do that, but I'm just giving you an example, right? And you have to understand that that does something to human beings. When you do something for someone else, but they show you this level of gratitude and appreciation, you feel good about yourself. It feels good inside, right? And it's hard to ignore that feeling. Doesn't matter how cold and heartless a guy says that he is. It's hard to ignore that feeling of how good it feels to be appreciated and seen by someone. So what I want for you to start doing is understanding how to give him that warm and fuzzy feelings only at the times where he's actually doing something for you or putting his best foot forward, okay? Or going the extra mile in whatever shape or form that is. That's what I want you to start becoming strategic as, is recognizing when he's trying, okay? So this is why you got to recognize as you're building with the guy when he's trying and putting his best foot forward and going the extra mile and taking that level of seriousness to associate for him the positive reinforcement of when you do something good, I show you a lot of appreciation. You get a lot of good dogs. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good dog. Because for him, that's like a dog treat. And like I've mentioned to you guys as an example before, you are not going to be training your dog. So when dogs get trained, right? Because your guy's kind of like a dog. When you're training a dog to be a good dog, you don't train a dog to be a good dog by saying, hey, dog, you should want to be a good dog. So when I tell you don't sit on the couch, just don't do it because you want to be a good dog. When I tell you walk by my side and don't bark at other dogs when we go on a walk, just do it because you want to be a good dog. Dogs don't understand that. They can't understand I'm being a good dog for my owner because my dog owner wants me to be a good dog. What dogs understand is food. Okay? So dogs understand I have a need for food. Their direct association, right, to like their desires is food. So if you want to communicate something to them, an action to them, or a way you want them to go about life, or how you would the type of way you want them to be, you have to communicate that to them through the avenue that they understand, which is food, which is precisely why whenever you're training a dog, you use treats, dog treats, to help them associate good behavior with dog treats. Okay? Are you following me so far? Those of you that have a dog understand what I mean. When you're training your dog, you don't just tell your dog, hey, be a good boy for the sake of being a good boy. You help your dog understand when you are a good boy, you will get good boy dog treats. Then your dog associates, oh, every time I walk with my owner and I'm good, I'm paying attention, I'm not looking over here at other dogs, I'm not barking at things, I'm not running off, I get dog treats. I like dog treats. If I want more dog treats, I should continue acting like this. Because if I don't act like this, I don't get more dog treats. That's how you help dogs associate good behavior and bad behavior, okay? And so I say that to say it's the same thing for you and your man. I know it sounds weird, but it's the same thing. So first we have set the baseline. Then number 2, we have positive association. Are you guys following me so far? I just want to make sure you guys are all following. Say yes in the chat. Tracy now says, yes, I understand. My doggy is very good. Okay. Viola says, so going to dog training lessons is a guy training lessons too. Well, yes, because it's kind of a people training lesson, but for you guys, obviously you guys are women and you guys want to understand men better. You women want to understand men better. So when you women want to understand men better, I am trying to show you how men, the type of things that men consider food. So the same way a dog is only really capable of understanding food, and then you associate behavior with food, I want you to understand what men associate as food, or what men consider to be food in the dog analogy, and how you can give them the theoretical food in a way that actually they can absorb it, understand it, and then associate good behavior with that. Okay, so that's what we want for you. So number 1 was set the baseline. Number 2, positive association. Then we obviously have number 3, which is the negative association. Now, this is very important. Remember, you set the baseline. I'm not going to be giving away compliments for free. You're going to start from level 0, because we want you to be able to build this man up to continuously not just give you more at the very start to love bomb you. We want him to be giving you more on an escalation basis throughout the relationship, meaning as time goes on, we want him to give you more than he was at the beginning of the relationship. Excuse me. We don't want him buying you Chanel bags on the first day of meeting you, and then after that, he doesn't buy you nothing. We want him building up to getting you more and doing more for you and putting his best foot forward until that man's stumbling and fumbling all over himself to do the most for you. That's what we want for you, okay? So, we had the positive association, then comes the negative association. So you're probably thinking, okay, so Tomisin, if I give my man dog treats whenever I want him to associate good behavior with the dog treat, right, with my love and affection and my appreciation for him and of him, what do I do when I'm not happy with him? How do I help him to associate bad behavior? Do I get angry? Do I yell? Do I scream? No. So this is where I come in to help you understand this. And I've mentioned this to some of you all before. Men do not take yelling and screaming and going crazy and slashing his tires as I'm upset. They do not see that as I'm upset. They actually perceive that as love, because they only think you're willing to do that when you love them and you're really obsessed with them and you're really crazy about them. That's why guys say, oh, I want me a crazy girl, because they want to wank themselves off to the idea that, oh my God, she's so crazy because I laid that D down on her. Oh, she's so crazy. Oh, I want me a crazy girl. Right? That's why they love the crazy girls. Not because they actually like crazy girls, but it's an ego boost that turns them on. That they start to feel like, oh, I'm the man. Because if she's crazy like that, then that must mean I got that thing that's making her crazy. That's that. I know it sounds weird, but that's how guys associate that in their mind. Okay? And that's how other guys associate that in their mind as well. So if you start, this is the mistake that you might make, okay? You might think, oh, if I show him how crazy I am in front of his boys, he'll realize how much I mean business and how serious I am. No, you're only making him feel like more of the man when you act crazy and like a psychopath in front of his boys, because then his boys are also perceiving your craziness as, oh my God, bro must be dropping that D down on her. Oh God, she's acting like a psychopath. Then they dap their boy up. Oh, boy, you must have did that to her. Why she acting like that? Oh, damn. You really got it like that? Oh, you must have been going crazy in her. She going crazy. And it's a flex. So what you think you're actually doing and accomplishing by showing him how crazy and insane you are, you're actually doing the opposite. You're boosting up his ego and you're showing him to be the man in front of his boys. Okay, so when you're actually, so this is the funny part. Remember how we talked about positive associations and how you can do something for him strategically so you can get something in return? You're actually, ironically enough, when you act crazy like that, you're giving him a positive association with negative actions. Okay? And you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be doing the opposite of what we talked about by acting crazy and giving him positive reinforcement that, hey, when I do this, she acts crazy and I feel good about myself. So I say that to say negative association is going to come from indifference. Meaning when a guy is doing actions that you don't like, and remember, this is all leading you up to receiving more from that man. When a guy is doing things that you don't like, you show him indifference, meaning you ignore him. You don't show him any energy. You damn sure don't show him no time. You don't bother texting him back. You don't bother calling him. You don't bother doing anything with him. You withdraw yourself completely from him. It's going to sound toxic, but you'll get what you want. Why? Because when you withdraw yourself from him, that and only that is when men say, oh, wait, what's going on? Is everything okay? I feel like something has changed here. I'm starting to feel like maybe you don't like me anymore. Is everything fine? Or do you want anything? Do you need any adjustments, right? Men, their alarm bells start going off when they see you become indifferent. Why? Because they think they're losing you, which is good. That's what you want. You want those men to start getting on their tippy toes and be worried about the fact that they're losing you. Because in the same example I said about, you going crazy and acting like a psychopath in front of his boys, if you were to ever show indifference in front of his boys, like you actually don't care, like for example, if let's just say for the sake of hypothetically, your guy was talking to you about, oh babe, so what if I went to the strip club with all my boys and I decided to get drunk and I wanted to go sleep over at some random girl's house, and let's say in front of his boys, you're just like, oh yeah, sure, go do whatever you want, doesn't matter to me. His boys will look at him like, oh bro, you're so cooked. Bro, you're so cooked. Your girl's saying you can go to the strip club and sleep at a random girl's house. Bro, you're getting cheated on. You're so cooked. Bro, you've lost her. You're so cooked, bro. Because that's how men receive indifference. They don't expect the girl that they like or have been investing in to be indifferent to them or to withdraw from them or just to not care. That's when they start getting really worried. That's when you'll have your men pull you to the side. Babe, is everything all right? You're acting a little bit strange here. If you were acting crazy and like a psychopath, you don't think you're acting strange. But if you withdraw, babe, you all right? I just feel like something's bothering you. I feel like you're not at peace here. I feel like maybe we might have to have a little bit of a talk, right? So I say that to say the way you want to be showing men negative association is by showing them deep indifference, meaning I don't care about what you're doing, where you're at, who you're doing it with. I just don't care. Men start getting worried, and that's when they start making adjustments. Remember, you want more from him. So the process of receiving more from him is not just the positive reinforcement, but it's the negative reinforcement when he does something you don't like. That way, right? Because if men are receiving indifference as the most painful thing they can receive from you, then when you're giving him that, he's going to be reminded, oh, when I do this behavior, she always withdraws from me. And I know that I hate that feeling of her withdrawing from me. So rather than having that feeling on an ongoing basis, I'm going to adjust and change my behavior because I don't want that feeling. And see, this is amazing for you because when this happens and he starts to associate that like this, then you have a man who properly understands, okay, as soon as I start to feel that, I need to make an adjustment and make a change because I don't want that to go on for too long. Okay. Does that make sense? Right. So Jasmine says not in a marriage though. Well, see, this is why I'm talking about why you have to be doing this from the very beginning, because you're training your man in the ways of the relationship. Now, if you're trying to undo all the stuff that you've kind of been doing wrong, this is going to cause a lot of friction because he's not going to be used to you doing this, and everything is going to be very confusing for him. Remember, from the very beginning of your relationship, he's learning you. So if he learns that when you have a problem, you act like a maniac and you go psychopath craziness and you stop doing that, of course, it's going to feel differently and there's going to be a lot of friction there. Okay. Does that make sense? And obviously in a marriage, your version of withdrawing is going to look different if you're married with children than it would if you're dating someone that you just started dating 1 week ago. Are you following what I'm saying? So that's where you have to start using discernment and understanding how to implement that into your own specific situation and relationship in a way that actually makes sense. Of course, withdrawing is not going to be like, I just ignore all your texts and all your calls when we share children and our children go to school and our children need both of us. Okay. So that's going to look very different than it will if you're just dating someone that you don't know from a can of paint. Okay. Does that make sense? Chloe says you can't just talk. Unfortunately, Chloe, with men, the moment you try to just complain and say, hey, I feel badly about this. You should want to fix this because you love me and change this and change that. I don't like this. I don't like that. Guys don't receive that. They just think that you're nagging. They just think that you're complaining. And a lot of times when you approach them that way, they get defensive and they start making excuses or justifications for what they did and why what they did isn't something wrong. Unfortunately, only when you actually take a step back and withdraw from them and they come to you and ask you, is everything okay? I'm sorry for what I did, or I want to be able to fix this. Then when you tell them something might be bothering you or this is bothering you, they're receptive to it. Unfortunately, that's the only way guys are receptive. When they come to you and they want to figure out how to solve your problem or how to make things okay again. It sucks, but it's the truth. Unfortunately, you'll waste a lot of breath trying to beg men to see what you see and beg men to be apologetic and to be sorry for what they did or how they treated you. When you do that, you're going to be wasting a lot of breath. Don't do that, okay? Right? Rosie says, yes, they change after we break up. Precisely, which is exactly why what I'm trying to show you guys is why men attempt to change when you guys break up and what the feeling you're giving them is when you guys break up. Because for a lot of you that are anxiously attached or for a lot of you that have been spending so much time chasing after a guy, the only time you ever end up showing him indifference in your relationship is at the end when you're actually ready to walk away or when you've already walked away because now you're over it. And so ironically, because that's the only time you ever show him indifference, that's the only time you ever actually receive change from him. It's so sad, but it is true. Okay. Right. So understand that. And if you can understand that, then you can understand how to show him indifference, even if you're not actually going to walk away. But at least when you show him that indifference, it'll set the alarm bells off in his mind. And then he'll actually start wanting to make a change. Okay. Because you want your man to feel like he's making those decisions for him, not because you forced him to make those decisions. Okay. Right. Does that make sense? So, number one was to set the baseline. Number two, the positive association. Number three, the negative association. And number four, we want periodic escalation. Okay. So what I mean by periodic escalation now, I don't mean chase him periodically every now and again and escalate that. No, that's not what we're talking about. When I talk about periodic escalation, I mean over the course of time, you want to be giving him increasing amounts of access to you. Okay. Remember, you want more from this man. But here's the thing. You want to pace that so that this can last for a long time. And you want to pace that so that this can increase over time. So let me give you a direct example of what I mean by periodic escalation. When you first start dating a guy, this is what I advise you to do. If you want to receive more from him over the period of time, do not date men for 5 to 6 to 7 hours per date, like 5 to 6 times a week. Okay. Don't be doing that. My advice to you is to start small with 1 date per week. Okay. Then over the course of time, you're going to escalate things to 2 dates per week. Even still, right? And you're just going to gradually escalate that to the max of 3 dates per week. And you're going to stay at 3 dates per week up until you become a girlfriend. If you guys want my foolproof strategy here, okay? This is what I advise you. And there's a very particular reason I say this, okay? Because we don't want you making the mistake of making yourself too available to him too early that he starts to feel like he can get all he needs of you, breathe you in as much as he possibly can in the first 1 week, and then he gets sad of you or bored of you after a while. We want his desire for you to continue increasing, that he says within himself, because remember, you're trying to plant a seed because you want him to start his wheels to start churning. You want him to say to himself, the amount that I see her and spend time with her is not enough. I want to see and spend more time with her. That once he starts thinking like that, that is when you have him, because that thought process in his mind is going to start building a narrative. Because I want to see her more and spend more time with her, that must mean I like her more. I like her more than all the other girls who I've never wanted to spend more time with and see more. Because I like her more than all the other girls, I'm going to start looking for reasons within her and her personality and who she is to identify why she's so different than all the other girls. And so guys begin building a narrative within their own mind of why you're so much more special and unique than all the other girls, which makes him want to see you more than all the other girls. It's great for you because now you have a guy treating you differently because he believes you are different and all you're doing is just being yourself. So I say that to say the periodic escalation is understanding how to date a man properly from the very beginning and allow this to escalate over the course of time. Okay. Rosie says, why did my relationship coach push me to spend more time and ask for it? Rosie, I don't want to burst your bubble here. I know I'm just a man, so maybe I don't know everything in the world, and maybe this relationship coach is more qualified than me. But from a man's perspective, I'm telling you here, pushing to see a man more and spend as much time with him as possible from the very beginning will only give you the opposite effect. Just imagine this right here, okay? If I were to offer you something in plenty excess to the point where you literally couldn't even ask for more, how are you ever going to desire more of that thing? Whereas if I gave you just the smallest tiny little offering or bite of it and it was so good and so amazing, you're always going to be thinking about how can I have that thing more? And eventually your desire for just wanting more of it is going to overwhelm you to the point where you're not even able to be rational about the quality of the thing. Okay. Meaning that it doesn't even matter if you're the dream woman, you got a huge dump truck and huge yitties and all that stuff. His desire for you is going to overwhelm him and take over his mind if you're strategic about giving him just enough that he enjoyed his time with you, but not enough that he feels fully satisfied and satiated with the time that he spent for you. Why? Because it keeps leaving him wanting more. Why do you think a lot of you are struggling to get a guy to ask you out on multiple dates over the course of time, right? You're always asking me, Tomisin, but how come he asked me on one date, but he doesn't ask me on the second? Or it take 2 weeks to ask me on the second, or 3 weeks, or 1 month. How come he doesn't just ask me on consecutive dates? Part of the reason, that could just be one of the reasons, but part of the reason for that is you're going on your one date and you're spending on that one date, you're spending like 6 hours with him. You're going out to dinner with him, and then after dinner, you guys chat a little bit more. Then you guys go to the car. Then after the car, you go back to his place. Then you chat a little bit more. You guys drink some wine. After you drink some wine and you have a little bit of chat, you watch a movie. You start cuddling. Then you're like half falling asleep. Then your hands on his pee-pee. Then he's grabbing up on your dump truck. You guys start making out. By the time you actually leave his house, you spent like 6 hours together. Okay? Nothing wrong with that if that's your husband or your boyfriend, okay? But for some of you, when you just start dating a guy, spending 6 hours with him is a mistake. Because after that, right, he now says to himself, great, I just spent 6 hours with her. I probably don't need to see her for the rest of the week, right? Yeah, like you have to understand, even people, right, when they naturally are growing their progression of like getting to know you and like you, they grow to wanting to see you more, right? And whenever guys are naturally trying to build with you, their desire to see you more is going to increase over time. Anytime a guy's trying to convince you that his desire to see you is so intense before he even really actually knows you, he's lying to you. What's natural to men is for them to meet you, they like you. When they see you again, they like you some more. And each time they see you, they like you more and they want to spend more time with you. To the point where eventually they're like, yo, I would love to see you every single day, okay? And even then, you want to be pacing the man that you're dating. So when I say periodic escalation, you're understanding how to escalate the amount of access he has to you over time. Because when you keep that leverage there, we can call it leverage here, because when he wants you that much and he wants to see you more, but you're saying no, 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 you have a lot of leverage. Because now if you say, I don't like how you're acting, I don't like what you're doing, or you withdraw from him, that's already a threat enough because he wants more from you. So if he starts doing something that makes you want to see him less or spend less time with him, and he already is in a position of leaning forward, wanting more from you, well, now you're winning, because now you don't have to talk a whole bunch to get what you need from him. All you have to do is withdraw, and because he's already leaning forward, he wants to make an adjustment so he can get more of you. Okay? You have to start getting strategic if you want more from men about using yourself as the source of motivation for him. Okay? Right? I'm going to kind of break this down some more because I know for some of you, this is a new concept. You want to use you and access to you as a source of motivation for him to put his best foot forward. You can't use yourself as a source of motivation and access to you as a source of motivation if you allow yourself to become very mundane and around and available all the time. So it's not just about saying, oh, I'm going to be so busy that I can't text you all the time, or I'm going to be so busy that I can't answer every call. It's about understanding, even if you do have time, you limit the amount of time you spend with a guy so that you can allow his feelings for you to escalate over time. Remember, your man is going to be the pursuer. So despite what he tells you, he wants to see you every day and all that good stuff, you don't want his candle to get burned out really quickly. You want to allow him to build up his desire for you over time, despite what he says. Because at the end of the day, when you pace those guys and you leave them wanting more, that's when you get what you're looking for, which is consistency and which is for him to continue giving you more and pushing forward in the relationship. You have to keep him hungry enough to continue pushing forward in the relationship. If you don't, this is actually one of the, I should have called this stop pooping time. So I apologize, Ivy. I don't think Ashley's here today, but I apologize, Ivy. I should have called this stop pooping time because this is one of the most important points here that you guys need to understand. Because if you don't leave your man hungry, right? Hungry to desire you more and want to see you more and want to spend more time with him, you're never going to receive more from him. Because the reality of it is, receiving more from him can only come from his desire to be with you more, spend more time with you, to get more from you, right? And when I say get more from you, I just mean get more access to you. Does that make sense? So you have to start getting strategic about that. So for those of you who are like, Tomisin, but just give me like a real timeline. I don't want to go on abstract, kind of guessing games. Tell me exactly how long it should be and exactly the timeline I should utilize. Okay. Let's just make it simple for you so you can understand this. First month of dating. Let's do 1 date a week. Each date should last a maximum of 2 hours. Now, let's be very specific. What does that 2 hours entail? I'm talking about 2 hours of sit down in front of him, eating food and having chat. Okay. We're not including the time it takes for you guys to get there. And we're not including the time it takes for you to get back home. I'm talking about 2 hours of in-person time where you're chatting, talking, and seeing him in person. You can feel him. You can touch him. 2 hours of that time for the first month, 1 time a week, 1 time. I know some of you are going, Tomisin, oh my God, 1 time a week. You've lost your damn mind, Tomisin. The guy that I'm in love with, I'm going to want to see him one time a week. That is so ridiculous. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're a dumb idiot, Tomisin. 1 time a week. I can assure you, you want your man to give you more, you have to leave him wanting more. Remember, you're dating this guy, but if this relationship is actually going to work out, you got lots of time. Okay? You got lots of time to build. You got lots of time to get to where you're going. Don't become impatient. Don't lose your marbles. You're going somewhere very, very special. And I'm trying to help you get to that place that's very special. But we need to do this the right way and treat this with care from the very beginning. 1 date a week for the first month. Now, from there, we're just going to go the amount of days by the amount of months it's been. So first month, 1 date a week, 2 hours max of you guys in person. Next month, 2 dates per week maximum if he wants to do 2 dates, right? And same thing, 2 hours per date in person time. 3 months, 3 dates per week, 2 hours for each date of in-person time, obviously not including transportation. After that point, you keep it at a maximum of 3 dates per week. Okay? Maximum. Now, of course, you're going to have, things that happen. Not every week you're going to be able to see each other 3 hours for the week and things like that. After the 3 months is over, you're still going to give him an average of 3 dates per week for the 2 hours. Now, this is where you can start adjusting your schedule based on what works best for you. Okay? And I really mean this. Okay? Now, after the 3 months of you guys doing that, if things have escalated properly, this is what I want you to do. Each date is supposed to be 3 hours for a maximum of is supposed to be a maximum of 2 hours for 3 dates total per week. So that's going to equal 6 hours of in-person time each week. After that point, meaning after 3 months is over and you're still not his girlfriend, after you're his girlfriend, all bets are off. It's not the same. Okay. Now, before you're his girlfriend though, you want 3 dates per week and 2 hours each date. So that's 6 hours total. After that 3 months is up, you can now strategize how you want to use and allocate that 6 hours. So if you want all of that 6 hours to come on one date, then you're only going to do 1 date a week. If you want, to have that 6 hours to be 2 3-hour long dates, then do 2 3-hour long dates. Nothing more than that, at least until you become his girlfriend. The reason I say that is because anything more than that, when you're not his girlfriend, you're now going into land of what are we doing here? If you're spending more than 3 days per week with him and more than 2 hours per week for more than 3 days per week, now you're escalating into territory of what's going on. Okay. After you're his girlfriend, like someone just said, now you can start being a little bit more lenient. Now, of course, you're allowed to have sleepovers and now you're allowed to spend more one-on-one time with him, but you still don't want it to. I will just say this. You want to give him at least 2 days a week where he doesn't see you, even when you're his girlfriend, at least 2 days per week. If anything, at least just 1 day, okay? Have it so that if you do see him, there's at least 1 day, even when you're his girlfriend, there's at least 1 day a week where he doesn't see you. That way, at the very least, even when you're his girlfriend, he gets a reset. Like guys should be able to say, even when you're his girlfriend, I miss you. Right? Like they should be able to say, even when you're his girlfriend, oh, I wish I was with you right now. Oh, I wish I could spend time with you right now. Oh, I wish you were here with me right now. Like don't forget, even when you're dating him and he's your boyfriend, you still want him to have like a hunger and desire for you. So I say that to say, you still want to have at least 1 day where he's saying, I wish you were here, but you're not. Why? Because when he sees you again, it's refreshing. You never want to get to a point, even when you become his girlfriend, that you're now here all the time, every day, and he never gets a break from you, especially when you guys don't live together, because most of you aren't going to be, you shouldn't be, living with your boyfriend. Right. And that's good because you want to continue building that up and building that up. That way, part of the reward of actually marrying you is that, oh, now we get to transition to you're with me all the time, 24/7. Okay, because we're going to be married and I get the privilege of being able to be with you and wake up next to you every single day, right? This is why I say you want to be strategic about leaving him wanting more. You don't just want to give everything away in the first, 30 seconds, right? You start off, you're seeing him every single day, 7 days a week. What's he supposed to want more of then? You're at his place 7 days a week. You're not his girlfriend. You're washing his clothes, washing his underwear, cooking him food every single day. What's the more? Where's the more? We're already living like we're married. Where's the more? I already see you every single day. Where's the more? I'm not saying that to say that you're a bad person if you do that or anything like that, because I know that it's just, a harmless mistake sometimes. But I do want you to understand you're trying to make your man is supposed to be the pursuer. And so if your man is the pursuer, you also need to be strategic about allowing him room to continue pursuing. Don't be present all the time so often that he has no more room to pursue. Okay? Right? Does that make sense? Sweet said he quadruple texted me today. Good. You got that man by the balls where you want him. That man's quadruple texting you. How easy do you think it'll be if he does something you don't like when you withdraw? How fast do you think he's going to want to make an adjustment? Or when you do like something, how fast do you think he's gonna move to keep doing it more and more and more to make you happy? You got that man right where you want him. Right where you want him. Does that make sense to you guys though so far, right? I know that we spent quite some time on periodic escalation, but it's so important for everything that you're doing, right? If you don't understand how to periodically escalate, you're going to be making a lot of mistakes here. Don't be a 7-day-a-weeker type of person. First month, like I said, 1 date per week, 2 hours. Second month, 2 dates per week, 2 hours. Third month, 3 dates per week, 2 hours. Then after that 3 months, you allocate the 6 hours in the week, however you want to allocate it. But you only get a max 6 hours until you become the girlfriend. And then at that point, you at the very least give him 1 day without you. right? One day where he doesn't see you or get to see you in person at least. That way he can have some room to miss you at the very least, okay? Right? D says, what do you do if he doesn't ask you to be his girlfriend by month 3? You leave it at the 6 hours maximum per week. Meaning, however you want to allocate your 3 dates per week for 2 hours, you keep that same consistency until he asks you to be his girlfriend. Now, if that day never comes, then eventually you just walk away, okay? But like, you just keep that, right? Right? Does that make sense? So however long that goes on, whatever is good with you, you just keep that consistency. You don't change it from there. Now, if you do that consistency and, after the 3 months, he's still not, let's say after 10 months, he still hasn't asked you to be his girlfriend, then you have a different issue. Okay. But you just keep that same schedule, allocate that 3 dates per week for 2 hours, however you want to do the 6 hours total. If you want to make it 1 6-hour date per week, or you want to make it 2 3-hour dates per week, you do that, and you can just keep exchanging that way, however you want to do it. Okay. Does that make sense? So, number 1 was, set the baseline. Number 2, positive association. Number 3, negative association. Number 4, periodic escalation. And number 5, you keep the fire lit. Now, this is the one part that actually has to do with you. Okay? This part, number 5, keep the fire lit, is about keeping the foot on his neck. Okay? You keep your foot on his neck. Now, you do that not by saying, hey, I just want you to know, don't let up, don't get comfortable, things like that. You keep your foot on his neck by you staying hot, staying sexy, staying invested in yourself, keeping your confidence high. Keep doing things for you. Not just only doing things for him and keep doing things for your relationship. Make sure you keep heavily invested in you and what's important to you and what you like, and keep your priorities on the forefront. Keep yourself sexy. And when I say sexy, I'm not just talking about your body and things like that. I'm talking about keep yourself sexy in the mind, right? Keep yourself looking in the mirror and saying, I'm that girl, okay? We want you on fire. Right? And I want you stepping out of your house still. You don't have to go to the club. I want you stepping out of your house still. I want you enjoying your life, reminding yourself consistently that you have a life, going out, interacting with people, having your girlfriends, having your fun time, having your alone time, having your whatever time, right? That's how you keep that fire lit. So that man knows, hey, we didn't retire here where I'm the only thing in your life and I bring the sunshine and the light, and without me, you have no life. We don't want that for you. When you do that, you let guys get complacent and comfortable, right? You keep that fire lit when they see, oh, she's still moving, she's still going, she's still hot, she's still set. Guys aren't dumb. See, you think guys don't notice, but they notice. They notice when guys want you. They notice when guys are looking at you. They know when you're still very desirable, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're old or young, right? It's desirable in the mind, right? It seeps out of your pores, and the guys chase and flock towards you. When they see you with that confidence, they see that you believe you're sexy, they see that you believe you're the it girl, they desire you and they chase after you. The guy that you're with will always be able to recognize, because he's a guy. So he knows the guys are looking at you. He knows the guys are eyeing you. He knows that, is he trying to be slick there? Why are you telling the hella jokes when my girl's around? You ain't a comedian when my girl's not around. All of a sudden you got a lot to say. Guys know they're not dumb. So you keep yourself hot, sexy in the mind, in the body, in the spirit, in the soul. Make sure you're on top of you, and you continue having a life while having a relationship, okay? Don't abandon your life for your relationship. I wish I could leap out of the camera. If this was a 3D, I would leap out of the frame in here, into your house or into your bathroom. You never stop having a life when you get a relationship. Never stop having a life when you get a relationship. Keep your life going. Keep your life fun. Keep it interesting. And I mean keep it interesting even outside of your relationship. I really mean that. I don't know if other people are telling you to do that, because I feel like some other people are only telling you to just, focus on the guy. Focus on you as well. Don't abandon you. Okay? Because when you keep you hot, keep you sexy, keep you sharp, that's what keeps the men on top of making sure they're putting their best foot forward. Okay. There's nothing more, there's no better treatment you will get than from a guy who's a little bit nervy about losing you. Okay. And when I say nervy about losing you, it doesn't have to be in a toxic way. Just nervy about losing you because they understand you're a hot commodity. You don't have to be a toxic person to make someone feel like, damn, they're like everyone, there's a lot of competition. Not that my girlfriend would ever do anything behind my back. Not that, she would ever cheat on me or anyone would even have a chance, but I just know they all want her. Right? Because see, this is actually one of the most amazing parts for you about being a woman. You can put pressure on men without doing anything wrong. Because when you invest in you, you make yourself inherently desirable to other men. And regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not, men will always try you if you're desirable. They will always, like hungry hyenas, they will always try you if you're desirable. So I say that to say you don't have to do anything wrong to show him and let him see that other guys are trying and testing their luck. And even when you turn them down, it's going to annoy him. Now, you're not going to annoy him because you're not doing anything wrong. You're just being you. And he knows that. So he knows he can't say nothing to you because you're just being you. But he also knows, damn, they really do want her. And it makes guys nervy. It keeps that fire lit under their butt where they're saying, maybe I shouldn't just chill out and relax and not do anything for her because damn sure another man will come along and gladly do those things for her because they all want her. Okay? You want to keep applying that pressure. You never want to let go of that pressure. So, and you do that by continuing to invest in you, never let go of you. Because the moment you let go of you, you now allow him to say, oh, I can be complacent. I can relax. She's let herself go mentally and physically and spiritually. All her investment is all in me. So if I stop doing things for her, then, nobody's going to want her to steal her away from me anyways. Okay? Does that make sense? Right? We want you to continue lighting a fire under his butt. Okay. Someone says, my ex didn't care. I got hit on all the time. Well, perspective pulse, not to diss you, but you did say your ex, correct? So there's probably a reason why that didn't work out. Okay, when it's your ex, right? So Miriam's donates €2 in the YouTube chat and says, is it okay to give them treats per text too? No. No texting. Okay? No texting, no social media, none of that. I'm not saying you can't text your man, but I'm saying don't apply this stuff to text. Don't. No phone calls, nothing. Why? Because I want it to be the most possible impactful that it can be. And the reason for that is because you will never be able to make someone feel your affection and appreciation over text, even over a phone call. I don't care. I don't care what you think technology can do. I don't care how, much you feel connected to kiss me over the phone. No. I want when you give him affection and appreciation or you give him that dog treat, I want him to feel the impact of that dog treat so that it's memorable and he cannot ever forget it. The way you do that is by doing that in person, not over text and not over the phone, okay? I know that some of you are in tough positions and you're like, but Thompson, it's hard and tough. Trust me, I'm telling you this for a reason. It is the most impactful in person. It's never going to be as impactful over the phone. And you don't want your appreciation or your dog treats to feel less impactful or more mundane. You want, when you give him that, to feel very special and memorable, that he associates that memory with whatever it was that he was doing for you, okay? That's why I say that to you guys. All right. So Ivy says, does a ring guarantee commitment? A ring in what sense? Like a promise ring, or a ring like proposing to marry you, like to get engaged? Because obviously a ring is meant to signify commitment to you long term. So yes, if you're talking about like a ring for the purpose of a promise ring or a ring for the purpose of like getting engaged, then yes, that's what the ring is meant for, to signify commitment. All right. But if you're just talking about he's just getting you a ring just to get you a ring, then that's not necessarily an example of commitment. That's just a present, right? Right? Andrea says, I appreciate all of you. Should I just stop texting him for a day and see what happens, just to see if he really wants to be here? You probably were having an ongoing conversation with other people in the chat. So yeah. I'd have to know more about your situation there. Okay. Hannah says, what do I do while I let him miss me? Do you, I still like be nice and like his stories, etc. Don't, okay. I know that social media matters a lot to all of us. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to allow a man to miss you, I actually have a whole show on this. So if you want to see that show, go on my YouTube page and watch that show. I have a whole show on this, on how to make a man miss you. You don't do that by being present in his life, okay? If you want a man to miss you, you're gone, okay? You're not liking his stories. You're not checking his repost. You're not even watching his stories, okay? You're not watching nothing. You're not watching his Snapchats. You're not opening his Snapchats. You're not text. If you want him to miss you, you're not opening nothing. You're not watching nothing. You're not liking nothing, okay? You don't have to block him, but you're not liking or watching any of his. If you want him to miss you, you're not liking nothing. Why are you doing that? Doesn't make sense. If you want someone to miss you, they actually have to be absent from you or not have you in their presence to miss you. You guys understand that's how that works, right? Okay. Does that make sense? Kill says, how do I make him crazy about me? You watch every single video on my YouTube channel. So just go onto my YouTube channel, go over into the live section. I have a whole bunch of live videos. They last 3 hours long where we talk about this all day. It's funny. We be on this show for 3 hours a day and some people complain, why does it take you 2 hours to deliver the information I wanted in 30 seconds? And then some of you ask, well, how can I do this? How can I do that? I have this question, but what about this? It's not detailed enough. It's not detailed enough. So I give you multiple options. You go on my YouTube page, there's videos that are 3 hours long. You go on my YouTube page, there's also videos that are 8 minutes long and 9 minutes. You get the best of both worlds. So whatever it is that you like it short, you like it sweet, you like it long and detailed, you get both of those on my YouTube page. So you shouldn't have to, if you don't like the super long, go get the short. If you don't like the super short, go get the super long. Any one of those is fine for you, okay? Armani says I need all 3 hours. Yeah, so go on my YouTube guys. For those of you guys who missed any of the points during the TikTok chat, the YouTube chat already knows. But I'm live also on YouTube at the same time as I'm live on TikTok. So you guys can go over to my YouTube and just type in my name. I keep pointing up here because it's just my name on the top right corner. Tomisin Atobatele. You can just type in my first name, honestly. It'll pop up. Type in Tomisin on YouTube, and then when you get there, you'll be able to see my YouTube channel that I'm live at the same time there. You'll watch stream on there, and you can surf my page to see all the different topics I've discussed. Okay, does that make sense? Rosie says all 3 hours for us to rant and vent is perfect. It's like therapy for all of us, all right? Miriam donates €6 in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Miriam. Miriam says, so what kind of treats did you give in the beginning? Also, readying overly happy to his good behavior. Thank you, Tommy. Okay, so Miriam, simply when I say treats, what I want you to understand in the very beginning, you don't need to do anything more than show your appreciation and affection in a serious sense when he goes above and beyond or tries to put his best foot forward. So what you want to understand, though, is in the beginning, you want your appreciation and affection to be, what's the word I'm looking for? To be relative to the amount that he's doing for you. So, for example, when a guy takes you out on a nice dinner date the first time after you meet him on Hinge or whatever, you're not going to be going crazy telling him, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. The fact that you took me out on one dinner date after us meeting on Hinge, I can't believe you did that. Like, you don't need to be going crazy for that. Not that you shouldn't appreciate it, but it needs to be relative to what he's done for you. Now, if you go out on you've been dating a guy for 2 months and then, he comes to your house one day, he's like, oh, I bought you this really nice dress because I want to take you to this really special spot of mine that we haven't got to go to. And he plans out a whole special day for you and really puts some thought into it. Then you show him an appropriate level of appreciation and bring some seriousness to your appreciation and how much you care and like what he did for you and him putting his best foot forward relative to what he's done for you. So you do it in the beginning by making it small relative to the small things that he'll do for you. And then as time goes on, you increase it over time as the stuff that he does for you increases over the course of time. Are you following me? You don't need to do anything more than show him appreciation and affection. I know that sounds very simple, but men in some ways can be very simple, right? And that does a lot for them. One, it makes them feel good and warm and fuzzy on the inside. And it also makes them feel good about doing something good for you, which is the association that you want, okay? Electric Field donates $20 in the YouTube chat. On the YouTube chat, they just go through like a spree. You guys, sometimes you guys are just all at once. Everyone's donating. So thank you guys on the YouTube chat. Electric Field donates $20 in the YouTube chat. She says, should we just assume that he's having pineapples with other people during the first 3 months of dating? That's really a person by person basis. And that really all depends on who you're meeting and how you're meeting them. Because I'll be honest with you, those of you who are meeting men on dating apps, to be honest with you, most of them are going to be dating other people at the same time that they're dating you. Unfortunately, that's just the way dating apps work. 99% of the time, the guy you go out on a date with from a dating app is not going to be you're not going to be the first person they dated from the dating app. Are you following what I'm saying? It's rare that you're going to swipe right on a guy and he's going to be like, oh, you were the first girl I swiped right on, the first girl I messaged, and the first girl that I went out on a date with. That's not realistic. However, if you meet a guy in a grocery store, there's actually a high likelihood that the guy you meet on a grocery store and you go on a date with is probably not necessarily dating other people at that exact same time. Because when he met you at the grocery store, it probably wasn't for the purpose of finding someone to date. I just say that to say that's more of a case-by-case basis, Electric Feel. I guess you could say, I don't want to say you should assume that he's already dating other people, but I definitely think it should be something that's a reality as a possibility, right? Meaning that should be something that you know is a possibility when you're meeting a guy, especially if you're meeting a guy at a club or a bar or from a dating app. We have to be for real there, right? But I think that when you approach your dating stages with someone, I think what more you should be focused on, I think you should ask questions, but I don't think you should spend so much time trying to get him to admit to you how many other girls he's dating at the time. Why? Because you want to kind of bring queen energy, not I'm concerned with the peasant's energy. Remember, you're supposed to be the queen, the girl of his dreams. So the queen doesn't concern herself with what the peasants are doing, okay? You're you, and when you're on this date, you're receiving him to say, okay, are you even the guy that I'm looking for? And you want to be focused more on answering that question for yourself. Don't worry yourself with what he's doing with his time when he's not with you. Worry yourself with how you feel about him and the treatment you receive from him when you're with him, okay? I promise you that is the better way to spend your time. Don't lose your marbles over who he's dating and how many girls he's dating. You'll be throwing yourself into a deep, dark spiral, okay? YouTube chat going crazy with the donations. We have another donation that comes from Angel. Angel donates $10 in the YouTube chat. She says, I've already provided my boyfriend of 3 months validation, made him too comfortable. I want to make him anxious again, make him fear losing me. What should I do? Is it still early enough to do so? Well, yes, Angel, but I will warn you. So you're going to do the same thing that I discussed. You're going to withdraw, right? And when you withdraw, you're going to be texting less, right? So this is your boyfriend. Obviously, you can't just go cold turkey and ignore him. You're going to be texting him less. Don't be worried about the good mornings and the good nights, all that stuff. You're going to be texting him less. Pull that all the way back. You're not going to be on the phone calling for a whole bunch of time. Pull that all the way back. You're damn sure not going to be asking him to go out on dates or planning the dates, okay? If he wants to go out on a date with you, he asks you to go out on a date, you're going to be pulling yourself all the way back. If you've been liking his pictures, commenting on everything he posts, pull that all the way back, right? Everything you've been doing on social media, pull that all the way back. And you're going to start making him feel a little bit uncomfy. This is going to be a very uncomfy place for you and him because you're going to feel a little bit mean because you're going to feel like, damn, I'm being mean to my boyfriend. And he's going to start getting a little bit anxious. He's going to be like, what's going on with you, Angel? I'm wondering, are you okay? Is something bothering you? And I just want you to continue pulling back because as he becomes more anxious, his wheels are going to start churning. If he cares, his wheels are going to start churning. Okay, how do I start doing more for you? What must I change or adjust here? Because clearly you're unhappy and I don't want you to be unhappy. If he's interested in you, his wheels will churn and he'll say, okay, I need to start doing some things so that you're no longer unhappy. Now, if, he's not that into you or, it's not that big a deal for him, unfortunately, when you withdraw, what's going to happen if he's too comfortable and he doesn't have any desire to chase you or pursue you, when you withdraw, nothing's going to happen. And you're going to realize that the only reason you're in this relationship is because you are carrying it on your back. And you are the boyfriend and the girlfriend. And when you aren't being both the boyfriend and girlfriend, that there is no relationship. Unfortunately, that's the reality that you might have to face when you do that. Okay. And I have to warn you of that. Nicole also donates $5 in the YouTube chat. The YouTube chat is on a donation spree. Okay. Nicole donates $5 in the YouTube chat. She says, Tomisin, the show length is perfect. Do not listen to anyone who disagrees with me. LOL, keep up the great work. Trust me, I will never stop doing long shows for all of you. All right. The people who don't like long shows can F off. All right. We're going to spend lots of time together. All right. So with that being said, let's hop right into our next segment of the day. We know we have lots of segments in here. We're always adding new things. Our React segment of the day. Now, our React segment, for those of you who don't know, is just where we surf TikTok. I know some of you guys like surfing TikTok, right? So we're going to do that together in the Players Club. We're going to surf TikTok and we're going to watch some videos about relationships, situationships, love, and life together. And I'm going to be reacting to these videos live on the show. Very, very interesting thing we got going on here. So I'm going to hop right into our React segment. You guys spam up your headphone emojis and your camera emojis. Okay. While we hop into our React segment of the show. All right. Let's go in here to my favorites. Oh, by the way, for those of you who want to submit videos for me to react to, you can always do that by just mentioning me on TikTok, or you can send it in our Tomisin Reacts in our Players Club Discord. Yeah, and those will be the two places mostly that I check. So funny enough, I want us to start off with this video. Because I seen this.
On the whole, Japanese women are slender.
Hold on. I know for some of you who've been here before, you guys know this is about to be treacherous. I wanted us to start off with this video. And I wanted to give some commentary on this because I seen this and I just thought this was very interesting. Okay, so. Oh boy. All right. Buckle yourselves up. All right.
On the whole, Japanese women are slender and physically fit, feminine and demure, friendly and courteous, and respectful and appreciative. Not all Japanese women, I'm sure, but the vast majority of them as far as I could tell. When I spoke with them, the feeling I got was that they felt lucky to be interacting with me, which is a total reversal of the attitude you generally encounter in the West. I've gone on a lot of dates in my day, and the prevailing vibes were either A, that I should feel lucky that the woman was allowing me to buy her a drink, or B, that the woman needed to make sure I could give her what she wanted by conducting the date like a job interview. There's a lot of entitlement and narcissism here. It's all about her. On the other hand, my sense is that in Japan, women feel grateful for the opportunity to be there, grateful for the opportunity to be considered as a potential partner. It was extremely refreshing, to say the least. On the whole, Japanese women are slender.
Okay. We're going to have a discussion here because I think some very important things were brought up and I want us to have a discussion about them. I know that this can be very confusing for some of you because when you hear this, because what he's saying right here is actually very representative of what a lot of guys you'll hear or be around, you'll hear say, right? You'll hear them talk like this, right? Oh, women in other countries are so much more docile, feminine, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Here's the thing. When men continue talking like this all the time, it'll start convincing you that, oh, maybe I should be like more easygoing. Maybe I should say yes to more things. Maybe I should allow him to like kind of do what he wants with me and just be quiet and submissive like all these guys are saying that they want. You want to know what is the greatest irony of that? It's truthfully irony. It's almost comical, actually. The greatest irony of that is when you do that and you think, oh, the men are going to like me and actually want to be with me because that's what they say they like in all the Japanese or the other women, right? The women from all these other countries. They only end up taking advantage of you, using you, and then discarding of you after they have sucked you dry. So I want you to start getting good at understanding the difference between what men say that they want and what men actually want. What I mean by that is this is an example of what men say that they want, but the reality of it is when you give him exactly that, he will not respond to you in a way that you actually want. Because I guarantee you, okay, this is no diss to Orion here. I know he's trying his best. I'm never going to diss anyone for trying his best. He's making content. He's doing his thing. But the reality of it is, I can bet my bottom dollar, okay? I would bet you money. His wife is not Japanese if he has a wife. I can bet my bottom dollar he's talking about how he went to Japan and he met all these nice, amazing, sweet, innocent, docile women. I can bet my bottom dollar he didn't bring none of those women back to his house in America to marry. So yeah, he may have had a great time going there and dating some of the women and sleeping with some of them, but did that actually end up being his wife, or did he actually end up just taking advantage of them, sleeping with them, and then going back to doing what he was been doing? So it's funny. Guys talk about how easy it is to be with women from other countries, but majority of them don't even end up marrying the women from other countries. So it's like, what is the actual end result? Listen, I'm not here to attack anybody or diss anyone, but you would think if they're talking about how amazing the women from other countries are, then why isn't your wife one of those amazing women from those other countries then? If you're saying they're so much better. Why do those women from other countries that are so much better still just get hit, right, smashed, and then left and discarded of? What's the difference between you dating me and I am entitled and you dating the other women from Japan that aren't entitled? You sleep with both of us and you discard of both of us. It's not like you make one of us your wife anyways. So what's the point? So I just say that to say, understand how like guys will say this and then like, what is the actual purpose? What is the actual end goal there? Right? Because they never marry those girls. So what's the difference? They had a better time. It was easier to sleep with them. All he's saying it was easier for me to sleep with her and get access to her. Still didn't marry her. Still didn't bring her back to my country. Still don't plan to do anything with those girls or marry any of those girls because I don't want to. What's the point? Okay. So when guys start talking to you like that, don't trick yourself into thinking, oh, maybe I should be more upfront, tell him how much I like him, be more easygoing, say yes to everything. I want to be like the women from Japan because clearly all the guys love the women from Japan. None of them marry and bring back those women from Japan. Guys also talk about, oh, I go to Mexico and the girls are so nice there. I go to Colombia and the girls are so sweet there. Yeah, they want a green card. Yeah, they want to come to America. Yeah, they want to get their citizenship. Yeah, of course they do. It's an opportunity. Yeah, you're really hot and sexy when you have a green card. You're really hot and sexy when you have a passport. You're really hot and sexy when you are a citizen of a first world country. Okay, but it's funny enough, all those amazing girls from Colombia and Japan, and no diss to anyone from Colombia, but these are just the things that these are the talking points you'll hear a lot of the I guess you could say red pill content creators make. It doesn't make sense. I just hate when people just talk out of their butt. They don't even have any actual real evidence or theory to like back it up with. It's just so silly. Anyways, I just wanted to start us off with that. Let's go on to another one here, a little bit more lighthearted. This one comes from Nico. Okay, Nico from the Daddy Academy. All right, there's Nico. Let's see what Nico got to say.
Listen to me, ladies. Do not help plan the dates. Okay, welcome to the Daddy Academy.
Oh, Nico's making some sense early today. He's on his stuff early today. All right, Nico, let's see what you got to say.
I don't want you picking the place. I don't want you putting down a deposit for the resi. I don't give a fuck. He needs to do it.
Damn, Nico mad when he curses. Nico barely be cursing.
Okay, in the early stages of dating, the man needs to take the charge in all of this. When you guys are together or close to being together, then it doesn't matter as much. Okay, but early on, if you are taking the lead here, you are now chasing. You are the one pursuing seeing him or helping equally. It's not equal. Okay, this part of the dating thing, you want to see what he does. You want to see the level of effort he is putting in for you. Okay, if you are facilitating the direction of things, you're not seeing his true effort level for how he wants to treat you, for how he wants to go about planning this date with you. If you're telling him where to take you, then you don't know what the fuck he was actually thinking. Unless he said something like, hey, baby, I'll take you wherever you want. Pick a place, we're going. Then, okay, that's a big daddy move. That I like. But do not help facilitate the plan. Don't put down a deposit. Don't fucking put down a deposit. Do not put down a deposit. Control the urge to control things.
Putting down a deposit is insane.
And let the man do it. You can't preach you want a masculine guy and then you want to help plan what the fuck's going on. Let him do it. Let his actions show you what his intentions are for you. Listen to me.
Nico, right. So, don't do that. Really don't do that. And you're only going to see results that you don't want when you do that. And sometimes, obviously you're going to feel I know that you're going to feel frustrated when you're with a guy and you're feeling like, bro, like, when are you going to ask me out on a date? Or, oh my God, we've been talking for so long. How are you not getting the hint that we should go out on this date? Or we haven't spent any real time together? Or how are you not getting the hint? I'm free on Friday. You're free on Friday. Hey, we are both going to be available in the same city on Friday. Why don't we spend Friday together? Why don't we hang out at this restaurant you've been saying you want to go to? And you're feeling like, damn, how does he not know this? I'm going to have to spell it out for him. I'm going to have to actually do it. I'm going to have to actually plan it or whatever, just so that we can actually go there. It's a mistake. Why is it a mistake? Because even if you end up going to that restaurant on that Friday, by the time you get there, you're going to have in your mind, oh, we're here because this guy wants me and wants to be in a relationship with me. You're going to start operating in that relationship based on that theory. But what's actually happening is you're on that date because you are the boyfriend and the girlfriend. And if you didn't do that, you wouldn't be on this date right now. But once you start doing that one time, it's like a gateway drug. It makes it easier to do 2 times, then 3 times. And then all of a sudden, your whole relationship is only formed with a guy off the basis that you do all the work. You be the boyfriend and the girlfriend. You take yourself out. You give yourself princess treatment. You get yourself gifts for you, by you, through him. So you make yourself feel like you're in a relationship by using his meat suit, but you're doing all the work and he just ends up being there while you do all the work. But then you'll be frustrated months down the line when everything that this relationship is supposed to be at this point, it's not that, because you are the one carrying it on your back. Okay. Biggie says it can never be me. I hope it will never be you. I would hope so.
Here are 3 ways to turn a situationship into a relationship.
That's a bold climb. Let's see what you got to say, exotic girl Carissa.
This is like the #1 DM I get from you guys. I'm going to break it down for you because I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. And we're all bad bitches on this page. If you're watching this video, then you're a bad bitch. So here's how to deal with it like the baddest fucking bitch. #1, if a guy is putting you in the situationship category, you have to do what you really don't want to do. And that's back off. Here's the thing. You think rationally, if you put pressure on this guy to commit to you, that he's going to break and commit to you. But rarely it works like that. A lot of times a guy, if he feels forced into a situation, he almost backs up and he doesn't want to commit. It's this whole analogy of, instead of chasing a butterfly, build a very beautiful, warm garden, and then the butterflies come to you. So resist the urge to pressure him into a commitment, because it rarely works out. And then a lot of times if he does fold and commit, it's never the way you wanted it to be, because he feels forced into it. And rationally, wouldn't you prefer a guy who wants to be with you, who wants to make that commitment to you? And believe me, there's a world where he comes to you, and that's what we're going to cover in this video. But step 1 is backing off, not forcing him into anything. Step 2, take back your power. Stop giving him all the power to make the decision if he's going to commit to you. Flip things around so that you're in the driver's seat. And say to him, listen, I wouldn't want you to make the wrong decision for your life. If you aren't looking for a relationship, that's okay. I don't want you to do something you don't want to do. You see what I'm doing here? You see what I'm doing? Then say, but ultimately, I'm looking for a relationship, and if things aren't progressing between us, then we're kind of wasting each other's time. So rational, so unemotional, and he's going to be like, wow, she's really level-headed. And
Okay, I'll pause it here. First part of what she said, you got to take a step back so that man can even actually want you. Very true. Second part of what she said, in terms of saying this, like, hey, I'm looking for this, and if that's not what you're looking for, that's fine. Do what you want, blah, blah, blah. I know she means well in saying that, but what I want you to understand is even when you say that thinking you're going to use reverse psychology to get what you want, just don't say it. If you actually feel like, if you get to the point in a relationship with the guy where you actually feel like he's not here for the same reason I am, and you obviously know why you're here for, you don't need to communicate, hey, by the way, I'm here for a relationship, and if that's not what you want, then that's perfectly fine. You don't need to do that, okay? You just need to remember, guys, they only receive indifference as an alarm bell to make a change. So anytime you want a man to make a change, just show him indifference, meaning show him that you don't care anymore. You don't show someone that you don't care anymore by telling him, by the way, so I just, I was writing down in my journal today, and I was writing about you as I always do. And when I was writing down in my journal, I was just going through all the things that I really want for my life. And I was just trying to analyze like the things I want for my life versus the things that you've been showing me. And I just feel like there's a little bit of a misalignment there. I would love for you to confirm or deny to me if the misalignment there is actually true that I wrote down. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. It's pointless. And guys, anything he will say to you, it doesn't matter, because he could say, oh, actually, I do want a relationship. It doesn't matter because he should show you that. He could say, oh, I don't want a relationship. And it doesn't matter because he'll show you that. So don't worry about saying any of that.
And what she's saying, that makes a lot of sense. Because again, you're not like crying and begging him to be your boyfriend. Because I'm telling you, that never works with men. Like, never works. Save your breath. Step 3, that is not being afraid to lose him. Understand, even though you like this guy that you're in the situationship with, ultimately, if he's not treating you well, you have to love yourself more than the idea of him loving you. Instead of begging for him to choose you, choose yourself. And know fundamentally, if he's not treating you well, that's fuckboy behavior, and fuckboys are always replaceable. It's these high value men, these boyfriend material men, that's what's irreplaceable. But the irony is you don't have to tell that guy how to treat you. He knows how to treat you well. That's why he's boyfriend material. So you really have to have that unbothered energy to you. That includes being unafraid of losing him. Because remember, if you're afraid of losing him, then in your head, you're viewing him as the prize. Men are never the prize. No man on earth is ever the prize. Women as a collective are always the prize. Women, sacred energy. Men, that was like God's beta test. That was the first try. That was a good try, but women, always the prize. So do not be afraid of losing him, especially if it means choosing yourself. If you get him, but you abandon yourself, then you lost. Step 4, the final step, is following through on what you have laid out for him. So you've said, I don't want you to make the wrong decision, but if we want different things, then we shouldn't keep seeing each other. You're not afraid to lose him, and then you have to have strong boundaries. And here's where a lot of women get it wrong.
Oh, that's where you get it wrong.
So like really hammer this home, you guys. You have to set these strong boundaries that you don't tolerate disrespect with your actions, not your words.
Oh, now she's talking. Now she's talking.
If you want to Tell him your boundary with your words. That's fine too. But you have to follow through with your actions. So you're telling him, well, maybe we want different things. Nonchalantly, again, not getting emotional, because when you get really emotional, a man shuts down and he stops believing what's coming out of your mouth, because he's like,
The only thing I'll say to this, and I don't want to keep pausing it, but the only thing I'll say to this is what she is talking about, especially when she's talking about, oh, approach this and say this to him, but say it very unemotional. This is why I advise you to just withdraw also. That is so much harder said than done, because it's easy to say, oh, I'm just going to approach it so unemotional, so detached, like just so easygoing, like I don't care. And then you say exactly what she says, and he responds like, oh, I've been showing you that I'm a good boyfriend this entire time. And then you go, no, you haven't. What the heck are you talking about? You've been doing this and you've been doing like it's very difficult to keep composure, right? When he throws a wrench in there, or he rebuttals or gets defensive, and then you might start going crazy. Okay, so I just rather you just withdraw.
Like, oh, she's emotional, shut down. But showing with your actions that you're not going to tolerate someone who's not going to commit to you. So that means if you have that discussion, well, maybe we want different things. And he's like, okay, yeah, maybe we do. Then you're not seeing him. You're not texting him back frequently. Maybe every once in a while you can text him back if you want. But the energy has to shift. If he doesn't commit to you and that's what you want, and you continue to show up for him as a girlfriend when he's not giving you the girlfriend commitment, goodbye. Men do not respond to your words. They respond to your actions. So no matter how much you sit there and you plead, please be my boyfriend, please commit to me, he's seeing that you're still there. And he's never, ever going to just fold and commit, because why would he? He's having his cake and eating it too right now. And I'm saying this with love, because all of you who are seeing men, you deserve the commitment you want. He's not meeting the standard of a boyfriend that you want. You have to pull back with your body. You have to pull back with your space. You have to pull back with your attention. Because I'm telling you, that's when he starts to listen. And he's like, oh shit, she's serious. She's really going to walk away. I'm going to be left with nothing if I don't commit.
Carmen B says, oh my God, I did told him and I went off the rails. Oh, like you did, like what I just discussed? Yeah, going off the rails is never a good thing. And like I talked about before, when you go off the rails, you give guys that wank material. Okay, that's wank material emotionally for guys when you go off on them, because they get to say, oh, look how crazy she is. She's so crazy for me. Oh, she's acting crazy again like a psychopath. She needs to be in a psych warden. I must be laying down that good pipe, because girls don't go crazy for a guy unless they're laying down some good pipe. And all he does is use your crazy actions to feed his ego and convince himself that you're acting that way because of how amazing he is and because of how attached you are. So you kind of end up doing the opposite of trying to show him that this is actually something he should stop doing. And you actually kind of in the weirdest way show him that he should continue doing that, because you'll continue acting crazy and giving him that response. When your teacher used to tell you that whenever the class clown would act up, that everyone should just ignore him. That's because even when adults grow up, they understand like attention is currency, right? So for both men and women. So when the class clown was acting up, she understood, your teacher as an adult understood, the class clown wants to act up to get a rise out of me and the rest of the class. But whether it's positive or negative, that class clown just wants the attention. But when you take the attention away, the acting up loses its value. Okay? And even if it's negative attention, that can still be currency. So I say that to say, when you're with your guys, don't let it be forgotten that when you freak out and you lose your marbles like that, you go psychopath, that's currency, right? That's currency that he can bank and cash, right? And so if you want to actually show him that he needs to make a change, you show him indifference, like you don't care. That is the thing that actually makes him say, damn, maybe this is a kind of useless waste of my time and maybe I should stop doing this. Let's go to our next one.
There is absolutely nothing more attractive than a talkative woman. And when I say talkative, I'm talking about a woman who does not know how to shut the fuck up. Do not get confused. Long term, ain't nobody looking at your body, your booty, your face, your makeup, your outfit, none of that type of shit. The only thing that matters is if you have substance. And in this world, a lot of women do not be having shit to talk about. Talkative women be funny as hell, and they make dinner dates fun again. Because for a long time, I used to hate going to dinner for a date because the only thing that's entertaining me is the food. But when you got a woman who can just go on a rant about any topic at any moment, I promise you that's the greenest flag there is, because a lot of motherfuckers be dead silent when it comes to actually having to hold a conversation. Call me old school, but nothing displays your creativity more than the conversation, because anybody who can come up with something to talk about, a joke, a rebuttal, all of these type of things in real time is the person that I want to be around. I promise you all of that other shit means absolutely nothing to me. So I'm saying that to say, if you run into a woman who absolutely cannot shut the fuck up, marry her. And marry her quick before I run into her. There is absolutely...
Ooh, I'm scared, Mason. I'll say that. So someone seen it said in the chat, Tomisin Atobatele strongly disagree. Here's why I disagree. Because in theory, having a girl who can talk sounds good. This is another example of the things that men say they want. When they actually receive that, they don't respond well to you. What I mean by that is, if you go out on your date, mark my words, if you go out on your date and you spend the entire date yapping about yourself, one, that man is not going to feel any closer to you hearing you talk about yourself and your life. So you'll have lost there, because that guy's going to leave that date not feeling any closer to you. Second thing that will happen is you'll spill so much information about yourself that he gets to use to his advantage to figure out how to get closer to your heart and how to get closer to what's in between your legs. That's also a loss for you. So you've lost in two ways. You've now left this first date. You yapped your pants off. You feel great now because you got to trauma dump and talk about you the whole time. You've now left this date where a guy who doesn't feel close to you, you feel closer to him, and you've given him information about you that could be really useful to take advantage of you. Now, of course, we don't know whether or not the guy that you're on a date with is going to use that information for good or bad, but that's the problem. We don't know if he's going to use that information for good or bad. He's a stranger, so we don't know what his true intentions are. And so I just say that to say, I know what Mason was trying to say. I love a girl who can hold conversation and talk and this and that. What Mason is actually saying, though, is when on a date, if that girl can be conversational, that is ideal, because that's the most engaging. But, excuse me, what I want you to be aware of is you can be A+ conversational without actually saying anything. You can be A++ conversational just by being good at asking questions and being an engaging listener. While you listen, you can give your little side notes and rebuttals just to make them feel like you're engaged and you're still actively listening, right? When you're engaged and you're an active listener, people forget that you're not really sharing. I tell you guys this all the time, and I wish I could take you guys out with me somewhere so you could see this like firsthand. I wish I had someone to like practice for you on and give you guys a firsthand example for it. Because when you are when you're good at asking questions and good at being an active listener, people forget that you're not sharing. They just get into this trance of spilling and talking and talking and talking, and they feel like you're part of the conversation, but it's really just them sharing about themselves. So yeah, in theory, being a good conversationalist is more interesting and more engaging, but talking about yourself a whole bunch on the date is not really gonna get you to where you want to go, truthfully. Okay. Ivy donates $20 in the YouTube chat. She says, I thought it was okay to say you are looking for a relationship. What do you say to a guy in that case that you have had a casual history with? He only sees you that way. Are you referring to our last video where she was talking? Our last video, she was the girl was talking about going from a situationship to a relationship. So once you get to the point where you're in a situationship now, like, so obviously you start dating someone from the aspect of, hey, we're trying to build something here, okay? Because the guys are going to come on the date with you and say, yeah, I'm looking for something serious too. Let's just be for real. Like, which guy is going to come on the date with you and say, yeah, I'm looking for something unserious? Most guys aren't going to do that. So that's already kind of set in stone. Now it becomes a situationship where the confusion just kind of exists and nobody's really having any clarity here. Here's the thing though, and this is what you also have to take in. Like majority of the time, you as a woman, you don't need to come out and say, hey, I'm here looking for something serious. Unless you come out of your mouth and say, I'm looking for something unserious, it's already assumed you're looking for something serious. And so I just say that to say, like, even the guys, even if you don't say that, if a guy really likes you, he's going to try to make it something serious. So don't let that become lost upon you. I just say that to say, Ivy, I know like it's not a crime to say you're looking for a relationship if a guy asks you that, but I just want you to understand it's not something that you have to keep like repeating over and over again and like be like, oh, I don't think I'm providing you absolute clarity on the fact that I'm looking for a relationship. Guys, like they're not dumb. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Of course, if someone asks you, you can say, yeah, I'm looking for a serious relationship and things like that. But in the sense of where she was talking about taking a situationship from a situationship to a relationship, you don't need to double back on the guy and say, by the way, just making it absolutely clear on you, we've been messing around for 4 to 5 months and this situationship is not working out for me. I'm looking for something more. It's a waste of your breath. It's a waste of your breath. You don't need to do that when it's already an existing situationship, and the guys know that they're not taking this seriously. So it's just not necessary to waste your breath, because when you say that, like it's not like you have to understand when you're saying that, it's not like those guys are going to come back and say, oh, thank you for letting me know you are looking for a relationship because now I'm going to ask you to be my girlfriend. Because if they already felt like they wanted you to be their girlfriend, they would have been asked you, or they would have been, pushing this down that path. So you saying that doesn't really do anything. A lot of times the guys are the ones that are going to give the clarity on what they want to do, and they give that clarity through their actions. So you don't, especially like you mentioned here, like with in your question, someone that you've been knowing, like at a certain point, the back and forth of providing each other, hey, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. At a certain point, it just becomes a waste of breath. Like once you're in a situationship, you shouldn't continue have to keep establishing what you're looking for. Like it's so pointless and it's so ridiculous. Don't waste a lot of breath, Ivy. Okay, I don't want you wasting breath. When you're first dating someone and they ask you what you're looking for, sure, you can say you're looking for a relationship. But at a certain point, when you've been dealing with someone over and over again, like going back and forth just becomes a waste of your breath, continuing to tell them that you're looking for this and looking for that. Okay, let's hop into our next segment. I know we didn't get to watch too many videos, but I want us to keep on track today. So it's that time. Do you know what time it is? I want to know in the chat if you know what time it is. Don't look at your clock. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look anywhere else in your home. It's a special time. It's an amazing time. It's a time where you're going to laugh and you're going to cry. If you don't know, I'm going to tell you what time. Discord time. Yeah. All right, chat. Let's hop over into our Discord. For those of you who don't know what Discord time is, I'm going to let you know. Discord time is an amazing time. It's an awesome time. It's a time where All of the amazing members of the Discord community, of our Players Club community, get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or situationship, and I answer it live on the show. Now, there's a couple ways for you to submit your question. Okay, I'm going to explain them to you these 3 ways. First way is for you to go over to our free relationship advice section, our forum in our Discord, and you access that simply by going to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description. You access it, go to our free relationship advice section, and you ask your question in there. Make sure you format it how everyone else is formatted it. But you'll see here all these highlighted questions are questions I haven't answered. So if you ask your free question today, it's going to take me a couple weeks to get to yours because the oldest question here is 27 days old. And so I have to get to those older questions before I can get to yours. Now, if you ask your question today and you're like, Tomisin, I don't want to wait a couple of weeks to get my question answered. I'm an impatient person. I need my question answered pronto. It's time sensitive. You have another option in order to skip the line of people so that you don't have to wait, and you can access that by going into our premium relationship advice. Same concept to the forum, except in order to get into premium relationship advice, you have to donate to the show. So the way you do that is go into the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description, click where it says premium relationship advice, you donate to the show, and when you're donating to the show, it's going to prompt you to put in your Discord title of your message and your username. That way I look it up on my phone and I get a notification and I'm able to see and verify that that's you that sent that message. That way randoms can't post into the premium section and they get to skip the line without having to actually donate to the show. So the people that are in here actually deserve to be here. That's how we keep it fair for everyone in the Players Club community. Now, if you say, Tomisin, I love you so much and I want your advice, but I don't want to put my relationship information out on Front Street. I'm a very private person, but I do want to get your take on some stuff. You can also ask me a private question by going into our Discord where it says private relationship advice, or the link in my bio on TikTok. It's also available in the link in the description. Click where it says private question and you fill out the form real quick. You ask your question, you donate to the show, and then it gets sent to me and I answer your question through your email. And I'm the only one that sees it, and I respond to you via voice message, and I respond back to that same email. Okay. So with that being said, let's head into our premium section and answer our first premium question here today. So Lil Cine Gang asked a question today. She says, follow up advice needed on an ex situationship. Okay. So Cine Gang starts off by saying, hi, Tomisin. This is a follow-up from one of my previous questions linked. Oh, by the way, if any of you guys are missing context, you can always go into the Discord, click the questions, and read up on the things that you might have missed. It's like episodic. You got to be here every single day. Lil Cine Gang says, I'm 29 and the guy is 35. This was a situation where it started off casual, but I started having feelings and wanted something more serious with him, kind of like we were just discussing in our reactions. I gave him an ultimatum and he said, and he told me he had so much going on in his life right now. He has a child, an ex-baby mom, and has a very demanding job, so he couldn't commit at the time. Fast forward a month and a half later, and I received a text from him. I was really surprised to receive this text, as I thought he would never come back, as his last message to me seemed pretty final. In his text, he told me that he didn't want to intrude on my life, but he wanted to reach out as I have been on his mind lately. I didn't respond for a day, and he double texted me and asked if I wanted to go out on a date with him. Aha! See what I be saying? Okay? See what I be saying? He has asked me to go out for dinner, and I did respond and agree to go. He set a time and a date in advance and picked a really good spot. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? When Lil Cine Gang was beating down his door, giving him ultimatums, telling him he's not taking it seriously, all he had was excuses. My baby mom, I have so much going on in my life, my child, my this, my job, my everything, my life, my toe hurts, everything hurts, I can't do this. All he had was excuses. As soon as Lil Cine Gang got off of his back and just let it go and withdrew and stopped caring, all of a sudden, he was able to ask her out on a date, double text her, plan the whole date. Isn't that like magic? It's like magic. Okay. He asked me to go out for dinner and I did respond and agree to go. Okay. He set a date and a time in advance and picked a really good dinner spot. So this should be news to you as well. Never accept anything less again. Because clearly he's shown you himself that he's capable of doing it. He's capable of knowing how to do it. So it's not like he's dumb and stupid. So when he doesn't do it, now you know he's doing it on purpose, not because he's too stupid to do it. He told me he's really excited to see me and has been missing me. I have my guard up with the situation because I was really hurt from how it ended previously, and I've just been able to start moving on from him. I'm going in with the mindset of wanting to hear what he has to say and seeing if he would approach our situation differently this time. Would love to hear advice on how I should proceed with the situation so I can avoid getting played again. Thank you, Thompson. So, Low Cine Gang, you're in a great situation here, and I'm so glad you sent this in premium because this is obviously time sensitive. So, Low Cine Gang, what you need to do here is this is his prove it time. So, when you go out on this date with him, you need to be asking him questions specifically. I'm going to give you the specific type of questions you should be asking. You want to get a sense of, okay, where was your life then, where it was then, and where is your life now? How have those things changed and why? Also, what you want to be getting an understanding of, based on how your life was before, what have you changed or gone through the effort of changing or adjusting that now makes this a better time for you in your life? Is it that you figured out some situations with your job, you have more money now, your situation with your baby mother is a little bit better? You need to get an understanding of what has actually changed now, because clearly something has changed. It's not just he just woke up one day and said, okay, now I'm ready, right? Something must have changed. And if he's serious, he's made a change in his life so that he can actually be ready to date you and put his best foot forward. What you want to be getting a sense of is if something has changed or if he's actually made an adjustment for his own life. Why? Because if he has not made any adjustments for his own life, you're only going to go through the cycle over again. Okay. And you're going to notice if he just, chats up things that don't mean anything, or he just says, we're just going out on this date because I really like you and I really miss you. That's not really a strategy forward. So you want to start getting a sense of like, okay, you were in a place that didn't allow you to be in a relationship before. What's different now? Okay. What's different within you? What's different externally in your life? What's different in your, with your baby mother? What's different in your job, your career? Understand what's different and understand if he has a plan or a course forward in order for that to not be an issue again. Those are the type of questions you want to be asking on this date. And all you need to be doing after you ask those questions is listening. Let him do all of the talking. You just be an engaged, active listener and make him feel like you're engaged in the conversation and you want to hear what he has to say. When he asks you questions back, just, be vague. Of course, he's going to ask you, what have you been up to? Da, 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 da. Have those answers prepared. Be short and sweet with them. Don't spend a whole bunch of time. I was so sad, staring at the wall while you weren't texting me, blah, 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 blah. No, your life was good. You were doing good. Things were great. Now let's get to what you were doing. Let's get to what you were up to. Let's get to what's been going on in your life, because you need to have a clear understanding what's transpired. That's changed. That made him have a change of heart. And where he is now mentally and emotionally. Get him to talk a lot, because the more he talks, the more he'll reveal to you what his current mindset is. As he reveals that to you, then you'll start getting a sense of if this is actually like redemption where he wants to take this serious, or if this is just like a game for him to play, okay? Let him do all the talking, and for sure, do not sleep with him. Okay. Don't sleep with him. Let him do all the talking. And I also advise you cut the date short after 2 hours. Okay. Don't make this a big comeback. We spend 10 hours together on this date because now you asked me to go out on one date, blah, 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 blah. Let's see if he can do this again in a week. Let's see if he can do this again in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, right? Let's see if he can stay consistent with this type of energy. It's great that he reached out to you. It's great that he planned the date. It's great that he did a lot of the things that you were begging for at the beginning. That's great. But let's see if he can continue down that path. So when you go on the date, let him do most of the talking, hear what he has to say, and then cut it short after 2 hours. You're not going back to his house. He's not going back to yours. You have stuff to do. And if he really wants to see you on an ongoing basis, he can continue doing that over the course of time. It doesn't all need to happen once, at once right here. Sweet said, yeah, consistency check. That's exactly what it is. You're doing a consistency check because it's great that he did this one time, one day, one night for one date. But let's see if he can be consistent with this type of energy over the course of time. And now, this is the best part. You're in a great place, Lil City Gang. So now for the rest of your relationship with him, you never again have to question if he just doesn't know, is too dumb to understand, or isn't capable of doing it. You know, this is actually, you should be very happy because now you have clarity, right? You can be at peace knowing that you don't ever have to beg him for anything because he knows how to do the thing. He knows how to be a man. He knows how to plan the date. He knows how to ask you out. He knows how to like take the lead. So now you know if he ever doesn't do that in the future or next week or for whatever reason, you know that that's an active choice, not a mistake, not a misunderstanding, not a confusion. It's a choice. And that's great for you because then you don't have to be going back and forth in your mind. Oh, I've got to over-explain myself. I've got to tell him this. I've got to say this. I've got to complain about this. I've got to communicate this. I've got to, blah, 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 just lose your mind, right? You just be like, oh, no. When you stop doing it, it's because you actually don't want to do it anymore. And it's because you actually don't mean it anymore. Because when you wanted to do it, you did it and you knew how to do it. Okay, this is great for you. You're in a great place. You should be very happy, smiling from ear to ear. Okay, so that's my advice to you. Next, we have here Babliss. Okay, or Babyless. Baby Bliss, I guess. Baby Bliss says, help me. Baby Bliss says, I am a 25 female nurse. I run into hot resident doctors all the time. This is going to be what Pat story here? Okay. I know you would recommend staring at them. Oh, well, okay. No. I wouldn't recommend to stare at them. I'd recommend using eye contact to kind of show them that you're interested, except it's a little bit different when you're at work, just because that can be like, that's not like necessarily a place people go where they're assuming, hey, you're staring at me because you want me, right? It's a little bit less obvious. So just keep that in mind, okay? Which I try to do from a distance, but I get so nervous when they are close to me or stare at me back. So are you saying like maybe some of the doctors in passing? Like, yeah, if it's a doctor that you're not like, you don't regularly see and in passing, you just kind of give them a look, then yeah, that can communicate like the tension there, okay? But if it's like, sometimes if you're working with someone, you just look at them for long periods, sometimes it can be like, they might not know, is it for work? Is it a work thing? Or like, why are you know what I mean? I'm just being honest. How do I get over this fear of like having eye contact with someone? Is that what you're asking? How do you get over the fear of eye contact? When I run into them so closely, I get so nervous and I look away, and before the moment is gone and I feel bad. Is there another move I can pull to open the doors for them to pursue me? How do I know if he's interested in me back? When you have eye contact with someone and they're looking at you back and you can't catch them glimpsing at you multiple times as well, then you know they're into you. Okay. And do guys that are financially in a good position go for girls that don't make enough money as them? 100,000%. Like what? Like the most powerful, rich, amazing men are not amazing men. Like the most powerful men in the world are not driving around saying, "Oh, I'm only looking for someone who's a billionaire like me." They don't care about that at all. In fact, the men who have the most money care about their women having money the least. The men with the most money don't give a damn about 50-50. They don't care about that. They really don't. So no, that's not at all a factor. Or not as super hot as them. If we were putting it on a scale, I'd say for rich, really powerful men, you being hot matters more than you having money. 100%. If we had to choose one, definitely it's you being hot more than having money. I don't want to give off desperate energy. How would you? I have locked eyes with one of them a few times. So that should tell you something. Or when I look at him, notice him shifting his eyes away. I don't know what that means. Could be something going on here. So number 2, you say, I'm in the process of getting over a narcissistic relationship. I ran into him during a football championship and he keeps staring at me from a distance. Wait, what? I thought we were talking about hot resident doctors. What? I'm confused now. Are the hot resident doctors at football championships? Oh, you're talking about the narcissistic person that you were in a situationship with? I ran into him at a football championship. He keeps staring at me from a distance. So don't look. You're over him. Don't look. Or he will walk towards my team and I don't even look in his direction and he leaves. I started to avoid him because of his disrespect towards me. There is a gala where I will run into him. Should I try to stare at him back so he will come in? What are you saying? Why would you? What are you saying here? I hope you're not asking me, should you stare at the guy you were in a narcissistic situationship with so that he will come to you and talk to you? What are you saying here? And if he does come to talk to me, how do I tell him I want nothing to do with him unless we are in a committed relationship? Oh boy. Oh boy. Should I encourage small talk or stop and set boundaries right away when he approaches? If he doesn't approach, how do I get over him? I did do the letter process. I was thinking of also writing him a goodbye letter. I'm gonna take a break, chat. I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna take a second, chat. Oh God. Oh. I gotta release pressure. I do downward dog and stuff, you know. You guys know during the Discord time. Oh boy. Gotta get up, stretch. Oh God. Stretch my back out. Oh. Oh. Wow. Do not write him a goodbye letter. Okay, I'm going to keep that simple for you. But it's hard to not stop thinking of him returning and acting right. How do I stop hopium? This is like two questions in one, and like, okay, let's ignore everything that's going on here, right? The only reason we need to ignore this is because if you're in a situation like this, you're not even ready to be building a new thing. I'm never in the business of advising you guys to jump from one guy to another. And if you feel like the only way, because this is what it sounds like to me, I'm getting the sense that you feel the only way to actually get over this last guy is to meet a new guy at work. I am never in the business of advising you to get over an old guy by meeting a new guy, because you're not actually working through your emotions and feelings. Okay, so let's put down the staring contest at work with the doctors, and let's pick up figuring out how you can actually work yourself through this past situation with the old guy. Okay, because you don't need to be staring at no doctor's PPs at work before you figure out this process here. Because if you're sending me a message here and the beginning of your message starts with, I'm just getting over a narcissistic situationship. And then the end of your message is talking about sending him a goodbye letter. And then also you're talking about, should I stare at him so he'll come talk to me? Why would you want the guy you were in a toxic situationship with to come and talk to you? Why would you want that? You're talking about hoping that he'll return and act right. But you do realize the whole point of a situationship is that for a long stretch and period of time, there was no clarity. I need you to understand, after a certain period of time, there becomes no more relationship. What I mean by that is you can't continue saying, oh, next time, maybe he'll act right. Next time, maybe he'll act right. Next time, maybe he'll do right. Because you're just going to keep going on a hamster wheel, hoping for the day that things change, and they never do. This situationship has clearly run its course and is not a thing anymore. I know sometimes there are success stories like Lil City Gang last time, where she basically, ignored the guy and just left him and built her life outside of him. And then he came back and is wanting to act right so far. But what I want you to understand is, aside from the stories like Lil City Gang, there are even more stories like this where you'll be in a relationship with the guy who doesn't take you seriously. And after you pull away and actually start bettering yourself in your life, he still doesn't reach out to you or message you or do anything with you because he never even wanted you in the first place. Now, baby bliss, this is not say you're a bad person or you're undesirable or anything like that. But what you have to understand is you need to let go of the idea that you need to make the person you're with that one specific person who won't treat you right. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to force the relationship that you're in to be the relationship with this guy, which is why you're like desperately hoping that giving him eye contact will make him want to come talk to you and then act. Don't do that. Don't do that. In fact, if you actually wanted a guy to miss you, if you actually wanted to give yourself a possibility of him missing you, you should be gone from everywhere. Don't be able for him to find you at the football games. Don't be able for him to find you anywhere. Don't chat with him. Don't talk to his friends. Don't go to the same parties as him. Don't be nowhere where he can find you, okay? Because that's the only way he could actually miss you, even if he was going to. But truthfully and honestly, I doubt he does. If he treated you like that for a long enough period, I doubt he does miss you. I think he probably misses taking advantage of you and using you, and he probably thinks you're very emotionally weak. So he probably thinks, after a period of time, I won't even have to go up to her or say anything, because she'll become so desperate to see me and be with me again, she'll reach out to me, which is essentially what you're about. You're about to do it. You're about to do it. I can tell. You're about to do it because you're building up like the courage and you're building up your narrative for why you're going to reach out or what the reasoning is. You're already doing it. In your message, you're doing it, right? You're doing the letter process, which is supposed to be for you, like I advised. I never advised you to write a goodbye letter to the guy that you're trying to get over. I never advised that. You built that narrative. This is where delusion can take you. You built that narrative within your own mind as a justified reason for reaching out to him, because your mind, your delusion, has now put you into a spiral where you think maybe when I send him this letter, it'll help him realize that I'm really done for real, done, actually final, done. It's never happening again. I'm actually walking away now. I'm just about to walk out the door in a second. And when he gets that letter, he'll read it, he'll cry, he'll sob, he'll feel so badly, he'll think back to all the memories that we went through, and then he'll reach out to me and he'll say, oh my God, now that you sent me that letter, I cried, and the tears of my crying, they went onto the paper and they stained the paper, and they literally fell right on the part that said, I love you, and I realized how much I love you and I want to be in a relationship. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Don't let your delusion play you. It's not going to happen. Don't send the letter. Don't even write the letter. Okay? Don't do it. Don't let your delusion convince you that this is the way to go about it. The way to go about it is to move forward with your life. And I want you to move forward with your life and not start thinking about how you're going to get with the new guy. Okay? Because we need to get you off of guys for a while. because the fact that you're sending me this is crazy. I thought this whole question was going to be about your work, doctors, and I was prepared to help you and give you all these strategies and stuff like that. You don't even need to be doing that, because why the hell are you worried about what the doctors are doing at work or how hot they are? This ain't General Hospital. This ain't Grey's Anatomy. You're worried about that, and you're still trying to get your narcissistic ex-situationship to come and talk to you, and you're thinking about, like, you need a boys break. That's what you need. You need a boys break. You're going too boy crazy here. I'm not trying to diss you, but you're going too boy crazy here. You need a boys break. You can watch the show, right? You can participate in the show, but that's all I want you doing. You need a boys break. You go to work, get you a Tracy's dog. You rub one out when you have time and you're feeling horned up. Get you the Tracy's dog. That link's in my bio and in my description. Okay. Get you the Tracy's dog. You rub one out when you're horned up. You go to work. You come back. You spend time with your girlfriends. Go to fun places and things like. No boys. No boys. No going on dates, no Hinge, no Bumble, no nothing. No looking at doctors. If you look at a doctor and you're so horned up, grab your Tracy's dog, put it in your bag, grab your Tracy's dog, go to the bathroom, rub one out, and go back to work. Wash your hands, obviously, because you have patience. And I really mean that. Like, we need to get you off of boys for a little bit. We can't have you playing General Hospital, Grey's Anatomy, where you're thinking about how to do the boys, the doctors in the coat room, okay? It's not a good situation for you. And we definitely don't need you thinking like that when half your mind is also on the other guy. Okay? We need to get you off of boys for a little bit so that you can be on you for some time. Okay? You did the letter. That's good. No goodbye letter to him. He gets nothing from you. You're done with him. Okay? You're moving forward from him. You don't even want him to approach you. There's no point. Okay? He's only going to do the same thing to you over again. Okay, so we're investing time into you. Let's figure out what you want to do with your time aside from look at boys and fantasize about Grey's Anatomy. Okay, let's figure out what the rest of your day consists of outside of that, right? Because you have a life outside of just work, and you shouldn't be spending all your times at football games to look at more boys. Stop the boys. No more boys. Let's get your life back on track and get it focused on investing in you instead of thinking about, oh, well, how can I have more boys in my life? I really mean that. Okay. Next we have here Kendra Black Butterfly. Kendra says, what could he be gathering thoughts about before we can speak on this topic? So Kendra says, hi, Tomisin. So this past Sunday, Jay and I went on a date. We have been dating for 7 weeks now and talk daily, mostly over the phone, okay? Every time we talk, it's at least 30 minutes. He's very open in sharing personal information with me about himself, his job, his family, and his kids. After our date, we went back to his place to hang out a little more before I went home. Excuse me. We talked some more and then we began to make out. Basically just kissing. Of course, he tried to touch me and I stopped him. Good. At that point, I decided to let him know that I'm not interested in going further than kissing and that I don't want to have casual encounters. He respected the reason why we stopped and we continued to chat about the situation. He said to me, "We are more than casual, don't you think?" I said, "Yes, I would say so, considering how consistently we've been dating." Then he said, "So you need a title?" I said, "Yes, I wouldn't want to assume we're more than that unless I'm told so." This is good. You want to know about this very well, okay? All you're saying, he's lead. Let him lead. You just agree. It's good. Me too. Sure. Yeah. Do you want it? If you want a title, sure. Yeah. That's what I would be looking for. I then asked him, when was the last time, oh no, you were physically intimate with someone? He replied, a week ago. It's just physical. We all have needs. I responded, well, I haven't been intimate with anyone for 6 months. I told him I'm only interested in seeing you. He was surprised to hear this, and I explained that I'm too busy to date multiple people, and I'm looking for something serious. He then agreed and said he was too. I then thanked him for being honest and said, let me know when you are ready to be serious. You're starting to fumble here. He kept saying that he was, and I ignored it because he could have just been saying that just to get what he wanted, which he still would have gotten it at that point anyways. Sorry, I think you meant say he still wouldn't have gotten it at that point anyways. I just kept saying, think about it and let me know. We talked a bit more. He asked, was I staying? I said no. He walked me to the door and gave me a passionate kiss, and then I went home. Okay, nice and wet, Patty. On the way home, I was thinking about what he said to me regarding being sexually involved with someone a week ago. I didn't really care at the time because he was respecting my boundaries while dating, but now I feel like I need to take a step back and give him time to think about if he really wants this relationship seriously. I want to see how he behaves when I do so. To me, actions speak louder than words. If he's ready, he's going to make that known. The next day, I had not heard from him all day, and then around 6:15 p.m., my phone rang and I answered. It was him. He was calling to say hi, and was just telling me how busy his day was, and then he asked about my day. I told him I had a long day as well and that I was tired, about to lay down. He went on to share personal information about himself, his job, his finances, and I listened. Once there was a break in the conversation, I said to him I wanted to talk about last night. I understand why you want to talk about it. Let's see what you do. Let's see. Then I said, I hope you didn't think I was a tease because of the last time we were together. See, you don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You worry about standing on the business that you stood on, and you don't worry about how he feels about the business that you stood on. Okay? You kind of have to, you have to boss up, and when you say it, you mean it, and that's it. You have a problem with it, get the F. That you really have to be like that. I know you're a nice person, so it's hard to be like that. But you can't say it and then say, "Oh, I hope you're not mad at me," because who cares? Also, he sent you a message, so realize that it probably doesn't affect him that much if he called you, okay? Because still he's like, okay, that's what she said, that's what she's on, no problem with that. So just like accept it. Sometimes you got to know when to just let it lie and let it ride itself out. Like let it play itself out instead of continuing to beat it down. I spent the night after he grabbed me from the airport. And then yesterday, and he quickly said, "No, I do not think that about you at all." Then he said he had been thinking about this all day while at work, but wanted to gather his thoughts before we spoke about it. I respected that and said, "Okay, let me know when you are ready." At that point, I thought we were about to get off the phone, but he continued to talk some more. He had realized that he needed to send a work email, and instead of saying he will call me back, he did it while on the phone with me. Okay. As he was typing the email, he was speaking it out loud. When he was done, he said, "Now my workday is complete." When all to tell me what he was going to do with his evening, etc. Tomisin, I think he meant say, went on to tell me. Tomisin, my question to you is, number one, why do you think he wasn't ready to talk about it then? Okay, I'm going to answer this directly. One, it just might not been the right place to talk about it, right? Sometimes over the phone conversations that are serious, it just feels uncomfortable to have it over the phone when you can't see someone in person. I'd always advise you to have a serious conversation in person. I know not all the time it's feasible or realistic, but I just think those are the best ways to have serious conversations. Now, here's the other thing. I don't think he was necessarily playing games by not being ready to have that conversation. I just think that the way you went about it was a little bit off. I think that when you tell him that this is your boundary, whatever it is, and this is what you're ready for, that's it. I'm looking for a relationship. I'm looking for something serious. You already said it now, so it's all out in the air. You can't undo that. But I think after you say that, you don't need to then go back and say, well, I just wanted to let you know, I don't hope you don't think I'm a tease and hope you don't think I'm a, no, you don't no, don't care. You don't care. You did it because that's what you expect. That's the boundary that you have, and that's who you are. You're not going to apologize that, oh, I hope you don't feel bad. And you also have to you have to take the action of him calling you and speaking to you and asking you about your day as clearly what you said or what you didn't bother him that much. So what has happened here is through the time of him not messaging you, you've had a little bit of anxiety. So now you're taking out that anxiety in your phone call with him. But you have to understand, if he really was like bothered by what you said, or he felt like frustrated with you or the relationship, he wouldn't have called you. So the reason he called you is because he doesn't have a problem with what you said or what you did. He doesn't have a problem with you standing on business. He doesn't have a problem with the stance that you took. So it's done then. And when I say it's done, it's like you don't have to keep revisiting. I hope you're not mad. I hope you're okay. I hope it's all good. Like, it's fine. And this is where I think you started to overthink a little bit. I see some people say it in the chat. I think you started to overthink a little bit, which is why you're like now like beating a dead horse. He's good with it. Like, he's good with where you stand. He knows where you stand, and he doesn't like, you don't need to be like, oh, is it okay? Is it fine? Do you want to discuss more? Like, no, you have this stance. And this is what you're ready for. This is what you're okay with. He's okay that he hasn't put any rebuttal to that. That's perfectly fine. He's even said he's ready for that as well. Now, obviously, that's just him saying that. But once he says that, you allow him to show you that, and that's it. You don't need to keep saying, oh, well, I'm sorry about this, and let's talk about that. I understand you're just trying to have communication, but I want you to know, when you have a stance that you take and a boundary that you have, you don't need to keep re-explaining your boundary. And you don't need to be in fear that he's going to be upset at your boundary. It's your boundary. And clearly, he's not that upset at your boundary. He called you. And he's speaking to you on the phone for hours. It's funny, in the rest of the details in your message, you're actually giving me more reason to think that he didn't just call you out of like pity or because he felt obligated to call you. He called you because he actually wanted to speak to you, which is why he called you. And then, like you said, he wrote out his email while he was on the phone instead of just hanging up and saying he'll call you back, right? So like clearly he called you because he wanted to talk to you specifically, meaning there was nothing bothering him about what transpired the night before. You began overthinking, which is why you start thinking, oh, maybe he didn't message me till 6 p.m. because he didn't like what I said. Now you're getting anxious and that anxiety starting to come through in the way that you're communicating with him. Okay. So that's why I think that kind of situation happened that way. I just don't think he had a problem with what you said in the first place. Do you think he's going to say he's ready today, exclusively or otherwise? So that I wouldn't, guarantee. You have to let men go at their own pace. He might say, he's looking for something serious as well, but I don't think just because you say one day or a couple of days ago that you're ready for exclusivity, that all of a sudden he's going to say, well, I'm going to make you my girlfriend. I also actually, I want you to take note of this. I actually think if he takes a while to ask you to be his girlfriend, it's actually a good thing. And I mean, I'm talking about a while from this time you had this discussion, because what you don't want is a guy to hear you say, oh, I'm only going to sleep with you unless, we're dating and we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And then literally 30 seconds after that, he's like, well, do you want to be my girlfriend? And you're like, okay, yeah. And then you sleep together, right? Because then that's a manipulation tactic. All he's doing is asking you that because you said that's what you wanted, right? So he's giving you what you wanted so he can get what he wanted. You don't want a guy that's going to do that. You want a guy that's going to move off of his actual genuine intention. So if you have that conversation with him, he takes it in for a couple of days, couple of weeks, and then he asks you to be his girlfriend when he's ready, that's a good thing. You don't want him to just, you said you wanted me to be your boyfriend, and okay, then that's how you're going to sleep with me? All right, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend now. You don't want that. That's manipulation, okay? You want him to move when he's actually ready to do it. So then you go on to say, when I talked about it with my girlfriends, one of them said, she thinks I messed up, as do I. I think you were overthinking a bit. But I said to her, I didn't think so, because even after the encounter, we continued to talk while I was at his house, and then he laid his head on my lap. I rubbed it and also rubbed his ear while we continued to talk. And then offer this, said to her, if I messed up Why were we still having intimate moments like that? And why would he call the next day and talk to me more in detail about himself as he always does? I definitely feel like I know more about him than he does about me, which you say is good. That is good. But what I'm trying to explain to you is like, there's nothing wrong. You set the boundary and he's cool with that. Like you're starting to overthink about, oh my God, is he upset that I set the, he's not. Like he's going about this regularly. He still likes you. Like I'll say what I'll say after. My last question to you is, when would you know that you have a man emotionally attached? I'm thinking that I do because he shares things with me about his childhood and about his family, his kids, his finances, and how much he makes, stocks that he has, etc. He did confirm that he felt like we were more than casual. So what do you think I should do? I know you're going to say just wait, which is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to reach out until he does, but in the interim, please advise me. Thank you. I actually think this guy's feelings is growing for you. As weird as it might sound to you. And I think that there's nothing wrong with the way he's going about this. Now, obviously, it's not ideal for him to say, I slept with someone last week, but I think definitely in the ways that he's being very intimate with you. And I'm not talking about intimate with you like, I'm hard right now. What are you wearing? Like, I'm talking about being intimate with you like he's clearly like confiding in you and talking about deeper things. And he starts, this is the thing you need to take into notice. If he's calling you at the end of his day, that signifies that you're more like a stress reliever than a stress addition. Are you following what I'm saying? I'm just going to give you some man speak here, some man translation. If he's calling you at the very end of his workday and he wants to have a conversation with you at the end of his workday, that means he sees you as relaxation, not pressure and not stress. Because if at the end of the workday, that's when you want to relax and put your feet up and take a break. So if the first thing he's doing when he wants to take a break and relax is call you and speak to you on the phone, that's actually an indicator that he likes spending his time with you. Just keep it there. This is where I say you're actually doing so well that you're overthinking and kind of self-sabotaging here. You're doing fine. I think he actually has real genuine feelings for you and they're building up over the course of time. I think if we're thinking about this yes, of course, it's not ideal for him to be sleeping with other women, of course, but he's single. But let's think about this as you in comparison with all the other girls. Let's think of you as queen bee. You're the queen here. You're the queen of the castle. He's looking at you, thinking about you. He wants to spend his time with you. He wants to talk to you all the time and be around you. He wants to confide in you and spend his time, with you and him together. You are queen bee. Don't worry yourself with what the peasants are doing. Okay? I know that this is a bit hard to do because naturally you're going to be like, well, I want him to be as invested in me and all this stuff like that. And I want to make sure he's not talking to anyone else. Take a chill pill. I promise you, guys, when he's doing this with you, this is not something he's going to be able to do with all the other girls. So keep your queen bee status. Don't be concerned with the peasants. The peasants can't hold a candle to you. And I want you to exacerbate that by don't address the peasants anymore, okay? In your very specific situation, Kendra, there is no more need to address the peasants. He calls you when he wants to talk to you, and clearly he does that a lot. He asks you out on dates, and clearly he's been doing that a lot. He likes to spend his time with you, to confide in you about himself and his life and what he's going through. Let him continue doing that. You are queen bee now. He's doing all that with you, and you're literally saying, pineapples is not on the table. Sleeping with me is not on the table. So whatever you choose to do, understand it's not on the table. And he's still continuing to do that. You're in queen bee position. There's nothing left to do. Don't concern yourself with peasants. If he's sleeping with those peasants that allow him to sleep with them, that's actually actually, you should be happy to hear that, as weird as it sounds, because that's confirmation to you. The peasants that you're dealing with are letting you sleep with them. That's why you entertain them. I am not going to allow you to do that. You're still spending your time with me knowing that's not a possibility unless we're actually in a committed relationship. So you're already separating yourself from the peasants. Now, I'm not trying to be mean to those women and call them peasants, but I just want you to understand, you want to be separate from what he's doing with all those other girls. And you want to make it seem like I've got what I'm going on over here. What you are doing with the peasant girls is none of my business, because that doesn't concern me and I'm never going to stoop down to their levels. Then it allows him to say, oh, It's not even exciting or fun anymore because he knows in his mind, I'm just using those girls and I don't really like them. Because I guarantee you, the girls that he's using because he has, he needs pleasure, if they took pineapples off the table, he would not deal with those girls anymore. He's dealing with you despite the fact you don't even have that on the table as a possibility. So keep yourself separate from those girls. Don't continue harping on the girls he's not even thinking of. You think when he called you at 6 p.m., he's thinking of the last girl that he jackrabbited himself inside of last week? No. He's thinking about you when he gets off work because he wants to speak to you and spend some time with you. Don't start bringing up other girls. This is the mistake that sometimes you guys make. This is where I want the lesson to come in for everyone. Don't make the mistake when you are the it girl of spending your it girl time with him talking about all the other peasants. Especially at the beginning, that can be a mistake. You're the it girl. He's here paying attention and spending his time with you. He's not getting off of work and thinking about all these other girls. He's not going to call them. He doesn't have time for that. He doesn't want to spend that time with them. He wants to spend that time with you. So don't let it be he calls you to spend this time with you because you're the it girl, you're the queen bee, and then you spend all the time talking about the peasants that he's not even thinking about. Because every time you harp more on the peasants, it makes him feel like, well, are the peasants that important? Maybe the girl I was talking to and I slept with last time, maybe she is that amazing. Maybe that's why I keep talking to her. You want his time with you to make him forget about all the other girls, right? That he can actually say to himself, damn, I love spending time with her. I would love to put away these other girls to spend more time with her. Don't make him be reminded constantly of the other girls while spending time with you. Be queen bee. Let the peasants worry about, but you're spending all your time with Kendra. Why don't you want to be with me? And how come when we're together, you're always answering her messages and calling her? And if Kendra texts you, you're literally going to drop everything to be with her. Exactly. Because you're queen bee. Right? You don't be saying, why are you texting this girl and what's going on with her and why don't you? No, you don't. You're a queen bee. When he's with you, he pays all his attention to you. And if he's ever with another girl, he pays all his attention to you if you are talking to him. Stay queen bee is my point. Okay? Don't get thrown off your tracks. And I think you're actually moving in a good direction here. Stay queen bee. Don't harp too much on this. You've taken your stance. And he knows where you stand. He's communicated to you where he stands. And let's see if he follows through with that. No more peasant talk. You're queen bee. Keep it focused on you and him now, right? This is your time to shine, not other people's, right? Okay, chat. I know that those were kind of long. I want to make sure I gave it in detail, all right? For those of you who want to send me in a message, don't worry. You got multiple ways. You can send me in a private message, or you can go into Relationship Advice Premium and send me a premium Discord question. If you have a question, just do that link in my bio or the link in the description, whichever one you want to send in. Okay. Let me go to, I think we had a donation here that I missed here. Thank you so much to Ivy who donated $20 in our YouTube chat. Ivy said, I thought it was okay to say you are, wait, what? I thought it was okay to say you are looking for a relationship. What do you say? Case, yeah. So I think I answered that one, right? I answered that one. Yeah, I answered that one. Okay, I answered. Yeah. So does that make sense to all of you people? No more peasant talk. No more peasant talk. Okay. All right, guys. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is right above my head on the top left corner of the screen. If you're on TikTok, you just see it right there. It's Tomisin_Atobatele. It's also on the bottom right there if you guys are on YouTube, and you can follow me on Instagram, see everything I'm doing at all times of the day. If you're on TikTok and you want to rewatch this show in its entirety because you missed parts or you came late, it's up above my head. Just type in my name on YouTube, Tomisin Atobatele. You can even just type in my first name and it should pop up. Go to my YouTube page, go to the live section, and you can rewatch this live stream along with all the other live streams since the beginning of time. And you'll get all the context of the conversation because the YouTube and the TikTok live chat is embedded in the video, so you won't miss a second of conversation. Okay. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to catch me right on time, my stream will be tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. You got to figure out what time that is in your time zone. Until then, arrivederci, au revoir, goodbye, hasta la vista, salam, ciao, sayonara, adios, bon voyage! And I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, bye for now. It won't be long till we see each other.